There's no plan for where these people will live during a housing and rental crisis. Economists point out, as an unplanned migration program, inflationary, it's going to keep interest rates higher for longer.
The federal government is rejecting claims that its budget doesn't contain any measures for middle-income households. Labor has announced more than $20 billion in spending measures, including a boost to Medicare and welfare benefits. The opposition argues the budget will add to inflation and working Australians are missing out. But the Treasurer says that's just not the case.
For Middle Australia, it was a big priority for this government. We got wages moving again, which is what we said we would do. We are tripling the bulk billing incentive for families with kids under 16. We're making medicines cheaper. We're making early childhood education cheaper from the 1st of July.
The family of Brevet Sergeant Ian Todd, who was injured in the incident at Crystal Brook last week, have provided an update on his condition. They say his recovery has continued to progress over the past few days. He's been moved out of the intensive care unit at the Royal Adelaide Hospital. Medical staff are increasingly optimistic that Ian will make a full recovery, and the family believes the overwhelming positive response and support from so many people continues to play a significant role in Ian's recovery. Vladimir Putin has stated Russia's future rests on the soldiers fighting in Ukraine. In a speech he's made on Russia's Victory Day, the annual commemoration was scaled back this year with fewer soldiers and less military fanfare. There was also a distinct lack of modern tanks, which are normally a feature of the Victory Day parade. Lawyers for Donald Trump are defending the former US president's decision not to testify at a civil rape trial against him. A New York jury has found Mr. Trump liable for sexually abusing writer E. Jean Carroll in a department store dressing room in 1996, and the court has also ruled that he defamed her. Mr. Trump's lawyer, Joe Tacopina, says there was no need for him to take the stand.
This was a circus atmosphere, and having him be here would be more of a circus. And again, what I said in the summation yesterday, reigns true, holds true. It's that, what more can he say other than I didn't do it? And he said that under oath here. It's hard to prove a negative. Molly, I could say you stole my pen, prove you didn't do it. How would you prove it?
Donald Trump has been ordered to pay more than $7 million in damages. He's seeking to appeal the ruling. Now turning to FIVEAA Sport. The Port Adelaide Football Club will be known as the Yatapulti Football Club for all future games played during the Sir Doug Nicholls round and the AFLW Indigenous round. Port CEO Matthew Richardson explains what it means.
The name that Kaurna people gave to the land around the Port River, meaning Yata, place or country, and Pulti, meaning sleep or death.
Melbourne is describing last night's tribunal decision to uphold Jacob van Rooyen's two-match ban as unjust and challenging the fabric of the game. The Demons will appeal the decision tomorrow night. Port Adelaide's Junior Rioli will head to the tribunal tonight for a charge of striking Essendon defender Jordan Ridley. He's expected to cop 2 or 3 weeks for that incident. Now checking FIVEAA traffic.
Worried about cheap insurance? Who offers great value cover you won't regret? Amy does. Before buying insurance issued by Amy, read the PDS and TMD at amy.com.au and consider whether it's right for you.
Got a motorcycle on fire at the moment at Paynham South. It's on Port Rice Road near Lewis Road. Take care through there. Crash at South Plimpton, Marion Road near Raglan Avenue. And got a carvey tree at Golfview Heights, McIntyre Road near Bayview Parade. Busy right now, South Road at Anzac Highway with cameras on the drive home, Main South Road, Huntfield Heights, and Ocean Boulevard at Seacliff Park. Hungry? Head to Oporto and get the value-packed Bondi Burger Box for just $16.95 or grab 5 delicious crispy chicken strips for just $5 for a limited time at Oporto. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on FIVEAA.
Now the FIVEAA forecast.
Get the Toyota Forklift Advantage. Visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
A mostly sunny day tomorrow, a top of 20 after an overnight low of 10. Friday, a shower or two, 19. A beautiful day on Saturday, a top of 21 and sunny. Currently, it is 17. Now let's hear what's happening on 9 News tonight.
Free doctors' visits, help with energy bills and rent assistance. But does the federal budget have anything for average Australians? The information you need. Plus, from the supermarket to business class, the secrets to getting more out of your shopping rewards points. A MyGov scam alert, and why laughter really is the best medicine. I'm Brenton Raglas. The full story on 9 News tonight at 6.
The FIVEAA Sports Show. Rowey and Timmy G.
Yes, 6 minutes after 4 on your Wednesday. Hopefully you're having a cracker. It is tribunal night, and we'll have all the updates between now and 7 o'clock with Stephen Rowe and Tim Ginniver. Boys, good afternoon.
Oh, thank you, Sam, for fear. of sounding like a broken record. Last night, the AFL Tribunal suspended a player for 2 weeks for a spoil. The game now is officially stuffed. The AFL and most AFL apologists, I think they've wrecked what used to be the greatest game on earth. Timmy, welcome. Is that too dramatic?
Hello. Yeah, it sounded a bit dramatic, but okay. I can see your concerns because that incident just appeared like a spoil millimetre gone wrong. He's tried to spoil the ball, got so close to it, took the opponent's head. As it turned out, luckily, no damage done.
He's going to play this week, Bella. But let's go through it because a lot of people might have switched on. What's Rowey and Timmy talking about? Demon Jacob Van Ruin failed to beat his 2-match ban for a spoil. Excuse me. It was a footy act. I think we've all done for over 150 years. Eyes on the ball, running the same way as the ball. He collided with Ballard. You're right, it might have been a millimetre wrong. He got his 2 weeks. There was no malice. It was a 50-50 contest. And he was going flat out.
Absolutely.
Now, what do you expect the lad to do? Here's his coach, Simon Goodwin.
It's disappointing and frustrating, there's no doubt about that. And I think when you see the outrage of the footy community, clearly you look at it and it's either unjust or the fabric of the game's getting challenged.
Now, Jeff Gleeson's the chair of the AFL. Now, in summary, I quote unquote, these are his findings. We find that a reasonable player would have foreseen that in spoiling the way he did, it would have almost inevitably resulted in a forceful blow to Ballard, quote unquote. What in the complete, insert swear word here, so they've got to run that through their head now. So when they go for a contest, when they're on the ball on the ground, what would a reasonable player expect from that? Timmy, it's a 360-degree game. It's a contact sport. I've been saying it again for years. Accidents, collisions happen. They say there's about 600 incidences in a game. So if each side gets 300 possessions, well, that's 600 times.
Opportunity.
There's an opportunity to spoil, bump, tackle, do, whatever. What in God's name does the AFL want us to do? I'm at a loss.
When I read that statement, I thought it was unreasonable to expect the young fella to have any of that in his brain other than trying to get there and spoil the ball. That was his whole intent. He had no intent of taking that player out. He wanted to spoil that ball. He missed it. He collected the head. But this is where I think you were talking with Brad Scott when he was in charge of the AFL head of football. And I think he basically said something like...
We'll get to that. Just hold that thought.
Yeah, because it's, for me, it's not about what you and I want to see anymore. You know what it's about? The fear of litigation.
Yes.
That's what it's about.
Of course it is. Of course it is. But I've been saying for years, if we go down this path, protect the head at all costs, and I'm hearing that, at all costs, capital letters, inverted commas, you'll affect what I call the fabric of the game. Well, here we are. There's frustration and confusion for players now, and we'll put it to Rory Sloane later in the show, see if he's frustrated. As I said, it once was the best game on earth. I don't know where they're heading with it. AFL 360's Mark Robinson-Robbo had this to say.
We don't even know what's going to happen in every action on the field, mate. He didn't know that. He's got no way of knowing. How did he know that he was going to make prohibitive contact when he's running with the flyer of the ball and try to judge? We see players every week make split-second decisions of where the ball's going to bounce. It's called reading the play. And he ran back and was trying to read the play by the hands, and he went like that. There's no way known he was expecting to hit him in the head. Zero. He wasn't thinking about that.
What I love about Robbo, he has a really good common man's touch with it.
Yep.
Like he's a footy fan. Didn't play at any high level, doesn't have to, but he loves the game. Now, Melbourne, on behalf of the game, they've appealed to the AFL Appeals Board. I think it's being heard tomorrow.
Good.
Hopefully it gets overturned. And I don't know whether the Commission or Gill can come over the top. I remember we had Gill here for the gather round.
Correct.
And I put it to Gill. Mate, the tribunal, I'm scratching my head. Have a listen.
I've come to accept that it's the system, and the system actually needs a course of appeal.
Okay.
I do feel that, otherwise you end up in huge legal challenges. I don't understand a couple of decisions in the last week.
Did he say in there that he was confused? When I asked him the question, he said, I'm confused. That was how he started. Was that in that grab?
Well, he actually said that...
He said, Robbie, I'm confused.
Yeah, he thinks it's about the season. The system.
Okay. Keep the text coming in and the calls. We'd love you to talk about this. Am I over the top? Am I overreacting? Unique Home Styles Food text. Here's one. Rowey and Timmy, spot on. This great game is almost unrecognisable now. That's from Rodney. Well, Rod, we spoke to Brad Scott, who was the GM of AFL Footy. I think it was back in 2021, late in 2021. I put that to him. Have a listen. We can't wreck what I call the fabric of the game.
I totally agree with that sentiment, Rowey. I think that the game is a contested, full-contact sport. So the reality is that if that's the game that we know and love, we need to protect that part of it, but we also need to tell our players that, you know, if you get it wrong, it's not a defence to say that, I was going for the ball, but it was an accident, I hit him in the head. We're putting the onus back on the coaches and clubs to say that this is the way we're going to adjudicate the rule, and we need you to coach your players accordingly.
While we're playing that last bit, he agreed to me, the fabric of the game. But Timmy, you've been saying that to me in the sport room.
And then he gave you the answer that I've been trying to say to you, is that this is why they're doing it. It's purely because if they don't...
So I've got to get on that
it might
page.
come back to bite them.
So I've got to get on that page.
Well, no,
Are you on that page?
I think you just got to understand why they're doing what they're doing.
But I don't have to like it.
But and you don't have to like it. And I don't like it. I don't like that incident last night being suspended. But there's a couple of texts here, and these are, of course, the unique Homestyle Foods texts that are coming in. There's one sort of saying, well, Barry basically saying, hey, I tell you what, Darcy Fogarty's lucky with the one he did when he went to Spall and copped Murphy in the face and actually drew blood. If you look at that, you'd say, well, that's careless and whatever.
Good text.
And it's actually... It's a really good point because and another one came through on the same line saying that, you know, got hit high, blood nose, you name it, came off. You basically say, well, that's the same thing. But why we all thought Fogarty got off was because we thought, well, he's going to Spall and he's going for the ball. And Van Ruins is probably less. Yeah.
And I think the AFL panicked with it. So who's with me? The game's gone too far. It's almost unrecognisable. Coaches are frustrated. We know that. They coach a football act like spalling or tackling or bumping, but players get suspended. Players are frustrated. And again, we'll speak to Rory Sloane a bit later, and Brad Crouch, we'll put it to him. They play on instinct and skill, but you get suspended. So is the fabric of the game being challenged? Let me put it like that. Are you with me that you think the fabric of the game is being challenged?
Yeah, what? It's been challenged, the look of the game.
Yeah. 822 300 that's Uggs to you voucher. We'll give that to you. Very shortly, Matthew Richardson, Port Adelaide CEO. Before that, the MRO, they're sitting as we speak.
Yes.
Junior Rioli, straight to the tribunal.
Yeah, would you like to hear the last comment?
Well, I will. They've sat since 3:30 this afternoon. Look, he's looking down the barrel of 3 games. It was careless conduct, severe impact and high. Defender Essendon, Jordan Ridley, he copped a suspension. I mean, if they could get it down to 2, you'd be reasonably happy. But we're going to have this live as it happens. They're sitting as we speak. Timmy's got the rolling feed. So what is it?
Can I set the scene just before Tim does get to what Paul Elric from Port Adelaide is saying for them at the moment? So the club is arguing, they've pled not guilty to striking. They're arguing the impact was medium or high, but not severe. And that's what they've been graded, is severe. Medium impact would get them down to 1 game. High impact would get down to 2 matches. What's the Port legal rep Paul Elric saying, Tim?
Well, the last one was, some players are more susceptible to concussions than others, as you know. And it seems to be a glancing blow to the side of the head. So,
and their other argument from Paul is that the fact that there's concussion does not mean the impact was severe. Concussion can be caused not only by severe impact, but very light impact, depending on where the impact takes place. So they're trying to get him off.
Yeah, and the word severe is the one that sent him to the tribunal.
For 3+.
So that's the that's the
honestly.
issue. Yes, it's a really difficult... You know the other one, Rowey, that I think when it comes to MRO and the like... I don't reckon they should be allowed to show anything in slow motion, because I reckon that can influence your decision-making when we know that it's impossible to really understand the moment at slow motion pace. You just mentioned it about Van Ruin. As he's going as fast as he possibly can to try and get up in the air, try and punch a ball away, all within a second. How do you reasonably turn around and not hurt you and all the rest of it? Way too difficult. And we do have
to coach in a play.
We do have to coach in a play, which is what Brad Scott said to you at that time. They're going to have to coach it out and play it out. Eventually, players are going to. It's almost going to be. I just can't go to that contest.
Good luck. Rory Sloane will talk about it. Brad Crouch, have your say. Is it just me? Is it I'm a dinosaur? Do we got to get on the same page? Is it protect the head at all costs? because this litigation is going to cost, well, millions and millions of dollars, and we have to run scared because...
Well, there's lots of different cases, and it will be interesting to see how all of those play out differently.
It is
I
playing
don't
out
care.
right in front of our eyes as we speak. On the show this afternoon, Port CEO Matthew Richardson to join us, Rory Sloane and Brad Crouch. As you said, Rowey, where are they now? With a North Melbourne legend tonight, and Craig Foster to go through all the Champions League things which are happening in the semi-finals, because that is getting very interesting indeed. All your calls next, 8223 0000, 16 after 4.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show. David and Will invite you into the studio every morning with 5AA's live video stream of The Breakfast Show. Thanks to Foodland. With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
G'day, it's Rory Sloane. When you buy a Leader computer, you're buying a computer made in Adelaide. You're dealing with people that live in Adelaide. And when it comes to servicing or support, it all happens in Adelaide. Not overseas, not interstate. Leader don't have to send anything off for repair. They take care of everything here. So grow your business and get behind a Leader. Leader Computers, find your local dealer at leadersystems.com.au.
Fresh Aussie mandarins are now just $2.79 per kilo. And pre-segmented for your friends. If you haven't got any friends, more for you. Mandarin party for one. Yay! Aldi. Good, different.
Ken Hall Plumbers. We're local, we're family, and we're a trusted South Aussie. Blocked drain? Leaky tap? Give Ken a call. Ken Hall Plumbers. 8364 5855.
For nearly 40 years, no one has done certified used cars quite like Steinborner Automotive, with dedicated yards including SA's best range of commercials loaded and ready to go, including SA's only dedicated small car and SUV centre, and SA's only large SUV and 4x4 centre suited for any lifestyle. Steinborner still also has the best range of Commodores, from ZBs to the collectibles. View all late model used vehicles at steinborner.com.au. Steinborner Automotive. It's well worth the trip.
Oh, guess what? This Sunday, Mother's Day, we got to spoil them. Make sure you do this Sunday. Well, what you could do is call into Cheapest Chips for these mother-loving deals. It's perfect slow cooker weather, so perhaps pick up your Major 6-litre slow cooker for just $49, or a Major 5-litre air fryer, incredible value at $89.
Gee, I love your French.
Thank you.
Well done.
Oui, oui.
How about a Glow 70cm wok-style fire pit in rust or black, $79? I'm getting one of them.
Ooh,
I miss my fires. Or turn up the heat indoors with a ceramic tower heater, $79, save 10.
Well done. Mum might love a couple of coral fleece throw rugs, assorted colours, 2 for $15, or maybe a Himalayan salt lamp, just $25. You save $10 on those. Plus, assorted women's 100ml fragrances, only $4.99.
Here's the thing. Remember, you can win, Mum, $1,000 Cheapest Chip prize pack. God, wouldn't she love that?
Awesome.
Mother's Day. Just go to cheapestchips.com.au or Facebook to enter. Some T's and C's apply. Make Mum's Day and Mother's Day with love and deals at
Cheapest Chips.
If you were on North Terrace today, you might have passed by Samri, the cheese grater. Great things are happening right here in Adelaide. Bright minds are researching diabetes, heart disease, cancer, and preterm birth, to name a few. Every day and late into the night, we are working hard. If the lights are on, so are our bright minds. At Samri, we don't grate cheese, we do great things. Follow our progress at samri.org.au.
This year, Australia has a chance to give Indigenous Australians a real say in their future. Join us. Visit yes23.com.au.
Authorised by Dean Park and Australians for Indigenous Constitutional Recognition Limited, Sydney.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
20 minutes after 4 for Rossdale Homes, the custom home 2-storey split-level specialists. We're going to get to your calls very shortly. Is the fabric of the game being challenged with plenty happening in the MRO space? overnight. But first we'll check your traffic. For your chance to win $4 million grand prize, visit homelottery.com.au.
At Burton, look out for a crash, Waterloo Corner Road near Bolivar Road. South Plimpton, another crash there, Marion Road near Raglan Avenue, and Payneham South got a motorcycle on fire. Port Rush Road near Lewis Road, heavy delays inbound. Busy right now, South Road at Anzac Highway with cameras Hub Drive, Aberfoyle Park and Maryvale Road at Athelston. The Mercedes-Benz Vito range is delivering even more value with 3 complimentary services for a limited time. Visit an authorised Mercedes-Benz vans retailer today. Terms and conditions apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Oh, sorry about that. We're back on?
Yes, welcome back, everybody. Look, a few things happening down at Alberton, and we've got the CEO on the line, Matthew Richardson, to discuss them. G'day, Richo.
G'day, Tim. Rowey, how are you?
Excellent. Can you walk us through the Yata Pulti, is that how you say it?
Yeah, that's it. Yata Pulti Football Club for obviously next week we're thrilled to be launching Sir Doug Nicholls round on a Friday night, Adelaide Oval against Narm. I guess the initiative is about again further celebrating the Indigenous culture and the important role that our players and the programs have played in our game. So really exciting announcement for our club today.
And how did the initiative start? Does it stem from, say, a club doing a reconciliation action plan?
Yeah, it's part of that. I guess we also, obviously, we've had an Indigenous Guernsey for a number of years, and then we've been working with the local Ghana Language Committee and Ghana senior and past player that you would know well, Uncle Mickey O'Brien, and the word Yata Pulti. Yata is place or country, and Pulti is meaning sleep or death, which is the name the Ghana people had given to the land around the Port River. So it's really nice, really appropriate tie-in to what the round is about.
I was with Mickey on Saturday night. I should have asked him. It's very similar to our Cheltenham Cemetery curse that we used to talk about, coming past down there, making sure you're coming to the land of death if you play at Alberton. Let me tell you that. Hey, with Mickey O'Brien himself, did he get involved in the process?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, absolutely. He's on that Ghana Language Committee, and we've probably been in that conversation for around about 6 months. Braden Talbot, our regional programs manager, does a terrific job in this area, and Sean Bergen, of course, is our Indigenous player liaison officer, also is involved in that. So our people internally have been involved in it. Also next week we've got our Santos Aboriginal Power Cup leading into Sir Doug Nicholls round, so we'll have 550 young Indigenous students from right around the state involved. Not only next week in those programs, but also as part of the opening of the Sir Doug Nicholls round on the Friday night.
Excellent. Hey, just on to another subject. We got the release last night from the brewery that was going to put out a can of beer called the Ice Bath Beer and had Jason Horne-Francis' image on it. I saw it Sunday and I thought it was just a silly meme that somebody had put together, but they'd actually put the can together. And it was a bit of a surprise. They've released a statement of apology. When you spoke to them, was there any discussion on like the marketing 101 of seeking permission, use of image, those sorts of things?
Yeah, no, I mean, that's really when I first saw it, that's where I was coming from. I guess if you think about it, if there was if the station had a partner and Rowey or Tim, your image was used in order to promote a rival partner, the first thing you want to do is protect your partner's commercial rights. With our Pirate Life are a terrific partner of our club, and so when we saw that, we asked them to first of all remove the image and protect the rights of our partner, but also, of course, Jason was a part of that, and then we politely declined the offer of some free beer and just made the note that given the circumstances, we just didn't see it as being light-hearted fun, I think, as they put it.
Was Jason aggrieved about the can? Did that how it started, or you were more protecting?
No, not at all. Not at all. No, it was more. I was looking at it from a commercial perspective in terms of protecting our partner and also our IP. So that it was really that. It wasn't a conversation beyond that at all.
Okay. Chad Corns, we had him on last night, and Treader's made a few comments. Then he's made a few comments. I don't know whether the club and Treaders and you all need to get on the same tram. I mean, he's a club great, and we love Treaders here. If you didn't hear it, here's what he said.
I happened to find myself listening by chance last night. And, yeah, all I say is I hope he's not trying to take any credit for what we've done the last 5 weeks. And that sounded like that's what he was doing last night. And let me
Came
tell you,
across like that for me.
It's got nothing to do with anything he has said or ever will say.
That's Chad Corns. You across all of this, Richo?
Look, I heard it this morning. It was brought to my attention. I mean, I think, first of all, the way that Chad, started that was a little bit tongue-in-cheek, and you probably helped it a little bit. But I think the reality is that, how these things happen actually inside footy clubs is that, footy clubs review hard every single week. If you go back to that week when, we obviously lost the showdown, there was a really tough review on the Sunday and the Monday, and the coaches and the players are the ones that do all the work on, how they're going to change things, and to suggest that it's, and I certainly know that it wouldn't be Warren suggesting that it happens any other way, but I guess I'm not going to speak for Chad, but he's a really passionate person. He's really supportive of his players, and I know that the coaches and the players are the ones that have done all the work. So they deserve a lot of credit for what they've done over the last few weeks. But like we said at the time, Treaders has a job to do. He's in the media. He'll have views and opinions like everyone else do. He's a champion of the club, and we have no problem with that at all. The reality for us, though, is we live in a world where the people inside of the clubs are the ones that have to do something about what happens, and that's really where our focus is, and it continues to be. And our coaches and our players deserve a lot of credit. But having said that, we're going into round 9, so we just come back to what can we control this week to get the result that we're looking for down in Hobart.
Surprised you said I had a bit to do with that. Don't bring me into it. This is a Port thing. It's not a me thing, Richard. How did I incite that? I asked a question. Huh? How did I incite that?
No, I didn't say you incited it. I just said it was a little bit tongue-in-cheek and probably led it a little bit further. But like as I said, we have no problem.
Chad's a big man. He can say what he wants to say. Treaders is a big man, can say what he wants to say. I rate both of them highly. We love Treaders here. He's a big part of our team, and there's a lot of people that give him a lot of support on our text line and the calls, Richo. It's massive. I thought you might have come on and said, well, listen, we need to get on the same tram and get him behind our coach. It's got nothing to do with me. In actual fact, couldn't care less. Is that it? All right, over to you. Over to you, Timmy.
Richo, just on Junior Rioli, it's currently underway. We're hoping that perhaps gets taken down from Sevilla.
Yeah, so as you said, that's happening. That is happening at the moment. Chris and our team are working on that, and we'll let that play out over the next hour or so.
Beautiful. All right, mate. Well, all the best in Hobart.
Good on you. Thank you.
Matthew Richardson, CEO, Port Adelaide.
Excellent work. 29 minutes after 4. We've got your headlines coming up.
Hang on, before you go to all that, was I out of line there?
Well, I think he was saying that you might have had a bit to do with it by asking the question.
Do you think I did? Do you think I'm trying to put fuel on the fire?
You might have asked a cheeky question of Chad, perhaps. Yeah. And that.
So you'd rather I didn't ask that question?
No. For the show, you can ask any question you like. Absolutely.
I love it how I get dragged into things. I didn't say it, and I didn't defend it, and I didn't put words in Chad's mouth.
No, you didn't.
Okay. 30 minutes after 4. Rory Sloane from the Crows next.
The 5AA Sports Show with Rowey and Timmy G. This is Adelaide's 5AA.
David Bruce with the latest news headlines. Australia is looking at an influx of 1.5 million migrants over the next 5 years, many of them from the subcontinent. Consumer complaints about internet services are growing, many of them to do with the NBN. Vladimir Putin has stated Russia's future rests on the soldiers fighting in Ukraine in a speech he's made on Russia's Victory Day. And a nervous wait for Port Adelaide as Junior Rioli fronts the AFL Tribunal on a striking charge. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Worried about cheap insurance? Who offers great value cover you won't regret? Amy does. Before buying insurance issued by Amy, read the PDS and TMD at amy.com.au and consider whether it's right for you.
Hey, Christie Downs got a crash Moreton Road near the Elizabeth Road. South Plimpton crashed there too, Marion Road near Raglan Avenue. And Payneham South got a motorcycle on fire, Portrush Road near Lewis Road, heavy delays inbound. Busy right now, Mount Barker Road near the Devil's Elbow with cameras today, Gorge Road, Athelston and Happy Valley Drive at Happy Valley. Too many kids stay silent about being bullied. You can help on Do It for Dolly Day, Friday, May 12. Donate to Dolly's Dream at doitfordollyday.org.au. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The weather outlook, mostly sunny, a top of 20 tomorrow. Currently, it's 17. More news at 5, and as it happens on 5AA.
5AA Breakfast.
Plenty to plough through in the budget, a lot of talking points. It feels to me like this is a wishful thinking budget. I think there's so many things in this budget that are inflationary, to me.
Informing Adelaide.
I reckon there's every chance that the next time the Reserve Bank board meets, they'll convene for about 90 seconds and go, let's put interest rates up again. It's sort of like a reverse aspirational budget. If you own a house, there's nothing in it for you.
Yeah. 6 a.m. weekdays on 5AA.
The all-new Amarok is finally here at Southern Volkswagen Ranella. The all-new Amarok is in stock and ready to test drive. Don't delay. Call Southern Volkswagen now and test drive today. Just 25 minutes from the CBD. Only at Southern Volkswagen. LVD 152780.
Roll up to Sky City's mesmerising Carousel of Dreams. Free live entertainment and nightly delights. A cavalcade of performers, gastronomical delights, and a 10K giveaway with the Ferris Wheel of Fortune Saturday nights. Just print your free tickets each day, place them in the barrel, and be there for the draw and a chance at 10 grand. Additional cash prizes are up for grabs, plus overnight stays at EOS by Sky City. Sky City's Carousel of Dreams every Friday and Saturday night, April 21 to May 27. T's and C's apply. Visit skycityadelaide.com.au. Licence number T23310.
Things need topping up from time to time, including your COVID-19 protection. Even if you've been vaccinated, boosters can top up your defences and reduce the risk of serious COVID illness. If you're an adult and it's 6 months since your last COVID vaccination or infection, you can now get the latest vaccine. Top up your COVID protection. Visit health.gov.au/top-up to book your free booster or to find out more. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
Gents, have you got the urge to pee again, even though you only just went? Caruso's Pee Less for Men relieves that annoying gotta pee again feeling and helps support healthy bladder and prostate function. So, if your need to pee all the time is getting in the way of enjoying life, try Caruso's Pee Less today. Caruso's Pee Less is made in Australia, comes with a money-back guarantee, and is available from leading pharmacies and health food stores. Always read the label and follow the directions for use.
Hi, I'm Steve from Walco Liners and Covers out of Paraka. We're a manufacturing business. We've had a massive impact on the recall of our brand. From AA, we always vet the phone calls coming in and have asked where they're being sourced, and AA is a very strong part of what we get on the phone. We've had people who love the ads. We've also had people that hate the ads because of their irreverence and annoying nature and have still said, look, your ad annoys me and I'm coming here under duress, but I'm still going to buy your product. So it's cut through. It definitely has worked. But yeah, it's since we started in 2016, we've exploded locally.
To get your message out there and grow your business, visit 5AA.com.au and hit the Advertise With Us link for more information.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
It's 25 minutes to 5. We've got Where Are They Now after 5 o'clock, and Brad Crouch from the Saints, former friend of the show. I guess he's still friend of the show, even though he's crossed the border now. Brad Crouch to join us very shortly as well, and you can get involved on the unique Homestyle Foods text line, proudly baking for hundreds of South Australian businesses, large and small, for 35 years.
Yeah, before we get to Rory, Timmy might want to read a few out, but this one here touched a nerve. Ro, you're pretty good at dragging yourself into things. You don't seem to need much help with that. After the interview with Chad, you couldn't wait to play it again. That's not true. We talk about things as a sport team, and I hate being dragged into other people's issues and inserting yourself into the story. Couldn't care less about this story. So that text, no name, is wrong. The reason I had a crack at... Don't look at me, you two. The reason I had a crack at your CEO, and it may have come across as disrespectful. If it did, I do feel sorry, because they're good partners of ours, great, and friend of show. But I'm not inserting myself in it. He inserted me in it. Insert me in it.
As I said before, I think...
Did I make the comment?
No.
Now, put the shoe on the other foot. This was the Crows. You put people me up at like a red up a drain pipe.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't have led, say, Rory Sloane into that.
Oh, wouldn't you?
No.
Into what?
Like, say, you heard the comments. What do you think now?
You wouldn't have asked that question?
I don't think I would have, but because I don't...
well, maybe I am a dickhead.
Well, no.
I'm a dinosaur.
Dump that.
Yeah,
Did you dump that?
That doesn't need to stay on there.
Yeah.
Why'd you dump that?
Because it's a rude word.
Not a good word to use.
Oh, my God. You know what? Let's get the next guest on, because at least I feel at home with you.
You install at kitchens offer quality South Australian made DIY kitchens at a price that fits your budget. It's time for Rory Sloane.
Rory Sloane.
Rory Sloane on the 5AA Sports Show.
Rory, welcome.
Thanks for having me. Nice to be in too. So it's been a couple of weeks since I've been in, so nice to be in studio.
Yeah, you bought your 2 little tin lids here. Why aren't they in here running around with us? You've left them with randoms.
Yeah, I asked them to destroy it out there. So you go back out. You won't even have an office space left when you go back out there.
You've left them with 3 randoms, just 3 sales girls.
Belinda used to work here, so very trustworthy place.
True. Okay, she did too. She did too. Hey, if you played that game against Geelong again this weekend, would you win?
I thought it was a great game of footy, to be honest. Not sure. Geelong played outstanding footy. I thought their pressure was elite. It certainly felt pretty hot out there. Their defence is so good, especially on that ground. And that's one thing we wanted to challenge them with going into that game. And I thought we did really well at times. And late, we had our chances. Again, I think we did have some chances late, but Geelong are an unbelievable quality side. And they've been in some ripping form the last month. And I really enjoyed the way we played. It was a solid battle, and I think we were just proven better by the reigning premiers.
I called the game with Campo, and this week we dissected it. And in the game, I felt we didn't throw our best punch. Now, I don't know whether it's because against Collingwood we saw the very best. Okay, lost my point. I didn't feel like they either allowed you to do that or you actually brought your best against them.
Yeah, a bit of both, I think. Okay. I certainly felt like that. That was our chat at halftime. It was like, we certainly haven't played at our best and we're within a couple of goals, and Geelong didn't kick overly straight, I reckon, that first half. So, yeah, that was the message certainly going into the second half of footy, is like, all right, let's just stick at it. And no matter what happens here, you just got to stick fat at that ground, because they play that ground really well. So we just wanted to stay tight to our game plan. I thought we did, and it would have been nice to throw that last punch late and just get snag a couple of those goals.
Well, when you've won the last 4, I just throw the all played well flag blanket straight over the team, other than about 5, 6 or 7. So that gives me hope that there's an upside with that. So what did you say to the lads on the ground after the game? I noticed you were talking, I don't know, addressing the boys. Did you call them in, or?
I just thought our fight was outstanding. That last quarter, just to not give up and just to keep at it and to keep challenging them. It got to 2 goals and we had a chance to get to a couple or a goal or so. So I thought the way we fought the game out was outstanding. I just wanted to reinforce that.
And good point, because I was talking to Rowey about it. It just felt like there was a little brother versus big brother, and the little brother he's nearly ready to knock out the big brother.
Well, I hope so, and that's certainly how it felt like the last couple of months of footy. We haven't won the last couple of games of footy, and they've been close games against quality opposition, but we've played some good footy, and we've got a great challenge now against St Kilda, who are in ripping form.
I was saying, looking at the team stats, there was nothing glaring between you. There was nothing say, oh, gee, we got murdered here. Nothing.
Yeah.
So you know you're there.
One centre square.
Yeah, we wanted to, and that was a big focus for us. I mean, when you talk about stoppage, you often think just midfield, but against Geelong, it's really a whole team performance when you're talking about stoppages, and that was certainly a big focus for us going into that game.
Yeah. Scotty Burns spoke yesterday, said the boys have had an easy week. Do I read into that you're a bit tired, a bit jaded? This is as a group, or, you've had 2 massive games against, people will say, the 2 top teams, along with Melbourne and Brisbane.
Top 2 form teams,
there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the start of this week's more, and that's most weeks about recovery. We had a really good skills session yesterday, but Thursday's main session, we'll be on, and that's where we want to train our contests and I mean, when you go into you have a 6-day break the week before, you normally don't get those hits of contest, but yeah, we love those sessions where we get a crack at it.
St Kilda home Sunday. Campo was in yesterday. Your coach, Scotty Camporeale, or former coach, he was your midfield coach. He loved you. God, who didn't love you? Who doesn't love you?
I don't
Oh, yeah. Say no. Anyway, he said this about beating St Kilda.
The challenge will be is can they get through them? Ross Lyon coach teams are really sharp defensively. So, but I think it favours Adelaide on the get brave, like go handball receive, because Port and Collingwood attacked them with a little bit of speed and some handball receives and change in the game. If you allow them to set up defensively, good luck.
So if you're brave against St Kilda, you'll kick a score, Rory.
Campo's a very smart man. His footy brain's up there with the best that I've certainly been coached by, so I've got a lot of respect for Campo, and he's spot on. I mean, that was our message going into the Geelong game last week, is be brave, take the game on when we have our opportunities, and then make the most of them. So certainly that same message will apply.
Confidence is building. Young Lukey Pedler was interviewed, and have a listen to this.
Striving to be in that sort of top 4 this year. We think we're good enough, and you can see the last 2 weeks we've matched it with the best sides in the comp. There's just a couple of little things in our game that we're still working on, and we're a young group.
When you got a young fella speaking like that, that's
Love
good.
it.
That's really seeping in.
I think, and that's one thing I love about our group at the moment. I'd say our 1st to 4-year players are showing a lot of maturity. They've got a lot of belief. And they're certainly they really understand their roles they have to play. And I reckon Luke, his last 2 weeks have been outstanding, like super outstanding. And from probably more internally, you guys may look at more of the numbers, but some of his contest work and his ability just to play a role for us has been super. So, yeah, I'm loving our young guys and their ability just to chip in with their roles.
Hey, if you spoil the ball now and collide with your opponent and hurt him, you get 2 weeks.
Oh, it's tough, isn't it? There's just a duty of care that players have for people's heads. And I'm a massive advocate for looking after people's
any
heads
cost.
And concussions. Yeah, absolutely. So it's more just, and it's so hard to assess every situation because you're literally making
millimetre decisions, aren't you? 5
absolutely.
seconds.
Rory, you
seconds.
reckon the game, mate. You play on instinct. What would have you done?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, when you enter a contest now, whether it be marking or ground ball, there's a just duty of care element. I think both.
So you're mid-air, you're committed to the contest. Don't give me that, Rory. You're committed to the contest. What do you all of a sudden, better not go for it?
No, you got to, and that's where you just have to make sure you hit ball. That's what it is. If you don't hit the ball and you
hit him 2 weeks,
yeah.
So you miss a grand final for that.
Well, maybe, but that's what I'm saying. If marking contests, ground ball contests, I think both players. This is where I'm saying you must protect yourself in the air. I'm massive on that, like training techniques to protect yourself in the air and ground balls. I think that should be the most fundamental skill we learn as kids is how to take a ground ball. Step past it.
I agree with that. I agree with that. And accidents happen, and they do. But this one here has rattled my cage for the fabric of the game. How's the face footy going, Rory?
Yeah, awesome.
You're wearing the Scon hat.
Yeah.
The kids haven't run in yet, so they're still going well.
They're going well. I was expecting that to barreled over already. I kept checking my shoulders.
Yeah,
but,
just for those that don't know, what is the face footy?
No, the face footy's a footy we designed a year ago, almost to date. And our original 4 have taken off and gone incredibly well, but we've just put out 2 synthetic versions. So a red and a yellow one, everyday football is basically perfect for schools, footy clubs,
excellent,
large groups. Rusty and Goldie, we called them.
Right,
red Rusty, yellow Goldie. So,
that's not politically correct.
2 new face footies to the family. Get stuff, Rowey.
Rusty and Goldie. Rusty and Goldie. I love it.
So they're available now to grab.
And of course, where do we get them online? Tool, isn't it?
It's a teaching tool. Yeah. So and this is the way I'll repeat myself. This is the way I've always taught kids to teach a footy for the last few years is pretend there's a face. Now we've got a real face on a footy, but pretend there's a face where you put your hands, you've got to cover the ears, you've got to point the nose at your target. So I'd sit here pointing the nose at you, Rowey, and then you kick the chin to make it spin. And we've had such good feedback over the last year and so many balls sold, so we thought we'd bring out some synthetic versions, and they're in at AFL Max, so people see them when they're in kicking the balls there, but hopefully see plenty of kids kicking them around Auskick.
Yeah, that's where it's got to start, doesn't it?
Well,
right at the Auskick level.
What's synthetic?
Synthetic,
so it's not real leather.
Oh,
those
indoor ones, they're solid.
No, the outdoor ones.
I love them.
The outdoor ones with the little grippy.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
Rory, always great to see you come in, mate. Well done. All the best against St Kilda. Massive game Sunday. Let's be brave.
take it on.
Rory Sloane there. Planning a DIY renovation visit? You Install It Kitchens. They've got custom cabinetry for the kitchen, laundry, linen and much more. Cabinetry that's locally made, fully assembled and quick to deliver. It's the easy way to DIY. Now, obviously, before we get to the traffic, there's still a bit happening at the tribunal tonight for Junior Rowey Timmy. The AFL's legal representative has come to speak now on the back of Port Adelaide speaking first. Some of their quotes to go through. From the AFL saying, it doesn't matter the strike occurred within the context of a shepherding or blocking motion. If you're going to turn and jump to block your arm and it swings back and connects with force with another player, it results in the commonly understood meaning of a strike, and a glancing blow can still cause severe impact and other injuries. It's a matter of good fortune that nothing more serious has occurred. That's where it's at right now.
Yeah, the last one, actually comparing it with the Van Royston incident, saying nothing is an entirely different incident involving a spoil. So, yes, can't use that as an example by the sounds of it.
You can definitely have your say on the unique homestyle foods text line, or give us a call, 8223 0000. Let's check your traffic for your chance to win a $4 million grand prize. Go to homelottery.com.au.
And Christie Downs got a crash, Moreton Road near the Elizabeth Road. South Plimpton crashed there too, Marion Road near Raglan Avenue. And Payneham South got a motorcycle on fire there. Port Rush Road near Lewis Road, really heavy delays avoided on the drive home. Busy right now, South Road at Anzac Highway, with cameras Arthur Street, Tranmere and Cooper Place at Beaumont. The Audi end of financial year event is on now, presenting you with an exciting opportunity across a range of exceptional models. Drive progress today. Ends June 30. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA Sports Show, Rowey and Timmy G.
5AA's Tech Talk with your host, Adelaide Tech guy Richard Pascoe. Thanks to Harvey Norman Computers.
Wearable tech is a fantastic way to enhance your health and fitness routine and hold yourself accountable. The Fitbit Versa 3 is one of the most reliable smartwatches in the game. It's packed with health and fitness features like 24/7 heart rate tracking, sleep management tools and built-in GPS. Plus, you can receive smartphone notifications and control Spotify when your phone is nearby, and it's water resistant up to 50 metres. It's super easy to use, making the perfect Mother's Day gift for health-conscious or tech-savvy mums. And just in time for Mother's Day, Harvey Norman have a great offer on the Fitbit Versa 3. Save $100 off the recommended retail price and get it for an incredible $198 in black, midnight or pink. This fantastic offer ends May the 17th.
Check out this great offer at a Harvey Norman store near you.
Watching footy with your mates? Brilliant. But heading to the Adelaide Oval and watching the footy in a corporate box with your mates? That's awesome! Buy any Lion beer, including Hans Super Dry, West End, Stone and Wood or 4X Gold from the Albion Hotel, Birkenhead Tavern, Lighthouse Wharf, the Excelsior or the Sundowner in Whyalla for a chance to win. You and 3 mates living large in a corporate box at Adelaide Oval. There's 4 packages up for grabs. You just know it's a Barreau Hotel. T's and C's apply.
Dream big, South Australia, because you could win big in the Hospital Research Foundation Home Lottery. The $4 million grand prize built by Scott Salisbury Homes in Melbourne could be yours. Plus, there's a catalogue bursting with over 13,000 prizes, including luxury cars, holidays and cash. With a 1 in 15 chance of winning, get your tickets today. Join the fight. To see full details, visit homelottery.com.au. Licence M14364.
Barnsey here from Barbecue Adelaide Weber Stores. Are you having a killer feed for Mother's Day and need some inspiration? Well, come see me at Barbecue Adelaide Weber Stores for everything barbie, rubs, spices or just some advice. Or do the right thing and get your mum a brand new Weber or some Yeti gear for Mother's Day. So, for everything Barbie this Mother's Day, head down to Barbecue Adelaide Weber Stores, Gems Cross and Mile End, and prepare to get lit.
Australia's largest indoor caravan showroom now has even more to explore. Come into Dave Benson Caravans to see the new range of Victory caravans, plus a huge selection of Essential, Highline, Network RV and Cub campers with new features and layouts. We have over 100 new and pre-loved vans and campers, all undercover and all ready for immediate delivery, so you can enjoy your next getaway straight away. See what's available at Dave Benson Caravans, 64 Grand Junction Road, Kilburn, or online at davebensoncaravans.com.au.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
9 minutes to 5. Where are they now? Coming up after 5 o'clock. And Craig Foster from Stan Sport to talk Champions League.
Well, the Crows take on St Kilda Sunday at Adelaide Oval. They come to town, the Saints, and he's always been one of my favourites, even though he's gone to St Kilda. Brad Crouch, welcome.
Thanks, Barry. Good to hear from you, mate.
Now, Brad, Saints are equal second on the ladder. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? What have we played? 8 games.
I can. We've had a good start to the season. I think from last year it's been a good progression for us, and we've learned a lot with Ross, and we're building still, definitely still building. So it's really exciting for our footy club.
Talk to us about Ross Lyon. I mean, your defence now, you're averaging 59.5 scores against. You're 19 points better defensively than last year. What's the magic of Ross Lyon?
There isn't really any magic, to be honest. I think he says that himself. There's no real magic in the way that we want to play and the way he coaches. A lot of it's based around our effort and intensity, and he gives us a lot of belief in each other and individuals, and makes us feel really positive and going into games. And I think that's sort of reflected in some of the way we play as a team at the moment. We defend really hard and run really hard, and try and play a pretty honest brand. I think we can definitely work on some of our offense, and I think we're trying to do a lot of that in some of our ball movement, make the opposition pay a little bit more, and hopefully score some more goals.
Hey, Brett, when Ross got to the club, how did he want you to play, just as an individual? Any difference to the way you normally play?
No, not really. He just wanted to really, play to my strengths was probably his main message. For me, it was at the start. He's like, I want you to just get super fit, and I didn't miss a session in the pre-season, which really helped, and I feel really fit and strong, and other than that, he just really backs you in, and he's been really good to talk to, and he's very experienced and been around for a long time, so he's been amazing for our group.
You've only had the 2 losses to Port and Collingwood, and they were just by under a goal, I think. So you're very, very close. Probably is that next step, just being able to, get that bigger score on the board.
Yeah, exactly. I think, them 2 games were very winnable for us, which is frustrating. And, we've let a lot of indicators that, should win some of them games. But, it's definitely a sign of a good team that can win them close ones. Obviously, Collingwood are, showing that the way they're playing and winning them close games. So we've definitely focused on, things that we can do to win them close games and give us a little bit of an advantage at that time of the game, or as it's been the last couple of weeks, because we know we're going to be playing in some close games over the year. And I think for us, we're really building with some of our ball movement coming into our forward 50. We want to get a lot better at that, so we've been working on that a lot over the last few weeks. Hopefully, when we get some key personnel back up forward as well, and they really go, we can get some easier goals. We might even, win some games that we shouldn't win. So I think it's more about sort of making the opposition pay at different times.
Your Max King train, is he going to play this week, Brad?
He had a run around today. He's going to train later on the week, and hope if he gets through all that and everything gets kicked off, I'm assuming he's going to play at some level. Okay. I'm not sure which one.
Crows are a 5-goal better team by the numbers this year than last year. Have you had a glancing eye on them? I mean, they have improved, haven't they?
Oh yeah. They've been great. To be honest, I watched them a fair bit. They've been great to watch, and always love watching a few of the old teammates play, and they're going really well, and we really respect them and the way they're playing. Their running's really powerful. They're hard. They've got some really, really good players in good form, and their forward line's going to be really hard to stop. So, we're under no illusions about what we're going to come up against, and over there in Adelaide, it's always going to be hard.
Well, they got Matt back in the team. They thought they'd just get him back in for one so he can tag you in the second one and try and towel you up, Brad Crouch.
Well, hopefully we can play against each other. That'd be nice.
That sounded like the big brother talking.
Have you played against him yet? Did you play against him last year?
No, I haven't.
No, I didn't think you've played against each other. Oh, well, look out.
Yeah, I know. That would be awesome.
He's looking forward to it. I love it. Oh, that's awesome. Hey, your forward line, say King hasn't been there, but Higgins and Membry just been really performing well for you up there, haven't they? A little Higgins is like your full forward.
Yeah, they're both really good players. I think Higo's been really consistent this year. Some of his pressure around the ball has been really strong, and we try and internally we try and reward some of the stuff that the forwards are doing off the ball, getting up the ground and helping us defend as a team. So we're really, really rewarding that and valuing that as a team. And I think Mitch Owens has been unbelievable up there. For a second-year player, he's going to be something really special for us. And I think our Smalls, Butler, Higgins, Gresham add a lot of that pressure to us as well. So they're very good players. And yeah, I just think having Max come back into that forward line event, if it's not this week, hopefully next week, and it's going to be pretty special to have them all fit and firing.
Just one last one, Brad. You're a modern day player. You get to play this great game. It's getting harder and harder to play. There's frustrations that creep in with it. Just one word of advice: don't go for a spoil and miss the ball and collect your opponent. Don't dare do that, Brad. Or take a screamer with your knee and knee your opponent at the back of the head. Don't dare do that,
That
Brad.
hasn't been penalised
Or hold
yet.
somebody in a tough tackle and don't dare. Is it getting harder to play?
It's definitely making you think a lot more about what you're doing. There's no doubt about that. Probably the big one for me is the tackling. Like I'd tackle a bit. It's just being aware of throwing the bloke to ground and hitting them on the head. It's just a action that you've got to be very careful about. And then all them other ones are going to be pretty controversial. I know you'd be up and about that.
No, I am. We had Rory on and I tried to get it out of him and I tried to get it out of you. Hey, we're out of time. Hard up against the 5 o'clock news. I've loved your season today. Keep it up, Brad. You're mirroring St Kilda's form at the moment. It's been super consistent, hard to score against. You're having a red-hot crack. Good luck Sunday.
Thanks, Rory. Hopefully see you over there, mate.
Yeah, it'd be love to. Brett Crouch, our guest. He's a ripper.
Great friend of the show.
Absolutely. Well played. I love that when you said about Matt. He's really looking forward to that.
Of course he would.
He wants him to tag him.
I remember the last time I saw two brothers take on each other. Now, Matt's the younger brother. Brad's the eldest one.
This would be...
Andrew Newton-Jarman moved to Adelaide in 1990. Darren Jarman was the younger brother. Now, work out what their ages are. Darren was this fledgling superstar that the very next year went to Hawthorn. And at half-time, Mick Noonan apparently said to Darren, "You're being too respectful to your brother." And Andrew was giving him a bath.
Right.
I think he kicked 3, played on the centre in the middle of the ground together. It was at Nord Oval. We were in front. And we never used to beat North back in the day. We got Andrew Jarman, now we're doing well. Jars was outstanding. Second half, Darren pulled his finger out and kicked 6.
No way.
So I'm kind of hoping
Unreal.
that Matt can mirror that.
Yeah.
Now, will Matt kick 6?
Gee, you haven't got that game on VHS or something that we can find.
Oh, look.
That'd be awesome to see.
I hope I've got
It must have been match of the day.
Look, it was. And I know this for a fact because it came through the other day. There was 14,770 at the parade.
It would have been awesome.
For the Jarman brothers.
We've got it. It's got to be on tape somewhere.
And Darren.
Somebody help us.
D. Jarman.
Oh, I've
he
got to see
listens. Put on a clinic.
Now, if anybody's got the tape, he'd have it.
Put on
DJ, let us know.
Clinic.
Bang on 5 o'clock, and just for people out on the roads at the moment and heading out north, Portrush Road and Paynham Road at the moment, a motorbike crash. Traffic built up in both directions, so please, if you can, avoid the area at this stage. It is 5 o'clock. Where are they now? Next.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show. Online, on DAB Digital Radio, and on 1395 AM. Talking Adelaide. This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Mostly sunny and a top of 20 degrees tomorrow with the 5 o'clock news. I'm David Bruce. A $45 billion fleet of new Navy frigates to be constructed in Adelaide is facing delays and major cost blowouts. The Auditor-General has found the first of 9 Hunter-class vessels will now be delivered in mid-2032, 18 months later than previously expected. The report has also slammed the Defence Department for failing to get value for money. The federal opposition has accused Labor of allowing Australia's migration rate to balloon without the infrastructure to cope with it. An extra 1.5 million migrants will arrive in Australia over the next 5 years. The influx is mainly due to the COVID recovery and is predominantly made up of international students. Liberal leader Peter Dutton has used question time to highlight his concerns about the migrant increase.
Your budget announcement to bring in 1.5 million people over this 5-year period, more than the entire population of Adelaide, has no plan. Every city is already congested and infrastructure is cut in this budget. And there is no plan for where these people will live during housing and rental crisis.
The Greens leader says a $2.80 a day increase to JobSeeker won't be enough to buy a loaf of bread. Labor is raising welfare payments slightly in the federal budget. The minor party says it will back the boost, but is urging the government to be more ambitious. Consumer complaints about internet services have increased in the first quarter of the year. They're 8.5% higher than in late 2022. Telecommunications Industry Ombudsman Cynthia Gabert says complaints about the NBN have jumped by 13%.
Some substantial increases about getting connected to an NBN service, problems with the bill, and service quality issues such as dropouts and slow data speeds.
The body of a teenage boy swept away while on a school excursion in a cave on New Zealand's North Island has been found. The boy had been on an excursion with his Year 11 outdoor education class when they were caught in severe weather flooding the cave they were in. Donald Trump has vowed to appeal after he was ordered to pay more than $7 million for sexually abusing and defaming a New York Magazine writer. US correspondent Jonathan Kersley has the details.
E. Jean Carroll said today is the day the world finally knows the truth, saying it was a victory not just for her, but every woman who has suffered because she was not believed. She had accused the former president of raping her in a New York department store in the 1990s. Today, a jury found the former president liable for battery and defamation, that he did sexually abuse Miss Carroll but did not find he raped her. Donald Trump branded the verdict a disgrace and claimed he was silenced, even though he opted not to testify. Here's his lawyer, Joe Tacopina.
What more could he say other than I didn't do it?
The former president has said he will appeal today's verdict.
And now to 5AA Sport. Junior Rioli isn't giving evidence at the AFL tribunal as the power forward pleads not guilty to striking bomber Jordan Ridley. St Kilda forward Max King just has to get through training on Friday to make his return to the AFL. The 22-year-old trained this morning, cheered on by his teammates. Coach Ross Lyon says Friday's session will be the big test.
And he needs to train fully in a match sim type without a lot of contact on Friday. He's not going to have form just based out of training, but you're backing in if he plays athleticism and all the work he's done in rehab. So look, it hasn't been perfect, it's not ideal.
And Sydney forward Sam Reid will miss the rest of the season after having surgery for a hamstring injury. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Worried about cheap insurance? Who offers great value cover you won't regret? Amy does. Before buying insurance issued by Amy, read the PDS and TMD at amy.com.au and consider whether it's right for you.
At Dry Creek, got traffic lights flashing, Port Wakefield Road near the Salisbury Highway, Penfield Gardens, another crash, Northern Expressway near Heaslip Road exit, and Payneham South got a motorcycle on fire following an earlier crash, Portrush Road near Lewis Road. Really heavy delays avoided if you can. Busy at the moment, South Road on the drive home through Edwardstown with cameras Arthur Street, Tranmere and 6th Avenue at Joslin. Get fresh, delicious, walk in a box at OTR. Enjoy a Pad CU for just $9.95 today. Eat in or take away. OTR. Making life easy. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
And the 5AA forecast.
Get the Toyota Forklift Advantage. Visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Mostly sunny tomorrow, a top of 20 after getting down to 9 overnight. Friday, 19 with a shower or two. A beautiful day on Saturday, sunny and 21. And mostly sunny on Sunday, 22. Currently, it's 16. Now let's hear what's happening on 9 News tonight.
Free doctors' visits, help with energy bills and rent assistance. But does the federal budget have anything for average Australians? The information you need. Plus, from the supermarket to business class, the secrets to getting more out of your shopping rewards points. a MyGov scam alert, and why laughter really is the best medicine. I'm Brenton Raglas. The full story on 9 News tonight at 6.
It's SUV season at Mercedes-Benz, with significant end of financial year savings on select new and demonstrator models while stocks last. Shop in-store or online today. Ends the 30th of June. Terms and conditions apply.
Here at FIVEAA, we're all about supporting local. Looking for a job or career advice? Don't miss the Careers and Employment Expo, Adelaide Showground, May 12 and 13. Entries free. Details kjex.com.au.
How does a wonky shopping trolley sound?
Sounds pretty wonky.
How does 5% off your groceries at Drake sound?
That sounds pretty good.
Get more in your trolley for less. Scan your RAA card at Drake supermarkets this month and save 5%. It's another way RAA is helping South Aussies every day to keep on moving on. T's and C's apply. Available from RAA. 5% of your groceries at Drake's also applies if you're using a basket instead of a trolley.
Our health system is seriously stretched. Now is not the time to mess with medicine supply, but the government is going to make medicine shortages worse by introducing 60-day dispensing. With the TGA reporting over 395 medicines already in short supply, this plan will make it harder for you to get the medicines you need. Take action at medicineshortages.com.au to ensure all patients receive their medicines when they need them. Thank you for supporting your local community pharmacy.
Authorised by Suzanne Greenwood, the Pharmacy Guild of Australia, Canberra.
Of all the trillions of atoms in the universe, how special it is to think that the atoms of comets, volcanoes, brontosauruses and Shakespeare live on in you, me, chainsaws, pizza ovens, decorative garden meerkats. The middle aisle of Aldi Special Pies. It's special. You can buy every Wednesday and Saturday at Aldi. Good. Different.
To help build South Australia's future, our young people need the skills to build theirs. That's why the state government is building 5 new technical colleges across the state. They'll help address our critical skills shortage and take high school students from in-school to in-demand in areas like advanced manufacturing and engineering, defence, early childhood education and health and social support. Get a head start to a hands-on career while completing your SACE. Find out more at technicalcolleges.sa.gov.au. A message from the Government of South Australia, Adelaide.
Whether a hobby or a full-blown dairy and livestock farm, they all have one thing in common: the need for good quality steel to keep livestock safe and secure. At Nor Metals, we have just that. From rural fencing and gates to droppers, loading ramps and more, you'll find what you need for your farm. And if we don't, we'll source it for you quickly and at the best price. No matter what kind of farm you have, we'll help you out. At Nor Metals, 255 Grand Junction Road, Ottawa.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Rowey and Timmy G on the FIVEAA Sports Show.
8 minutes after 5. Coming up this hour, Craig Foster from Stan Sport with the UEFA Champions League update. A game last night and a game tomorrow. Where are they now for Walco? We'll do that in just a second. But first, an update from the tribunal. They are now deliberating as we speak. We'll hear what the result is for Junior Rioli very, very soon. He was sent straight to the tribunal facing 3 or more matches for striking. Port Adelaide have pled not guilty to striking and are also arguing that the impact was medium or high instead of severe, which is the reason it got to 3+ matches in the first place. The AFL have said it's certainly not the AFL's position that anything more than 3 matches would be warranted, so that is a tick for Port Adelaide. But what they're also arguing, the fact they want to get to medium or high, means they will at least miss 1 game. So it'll be somewhere between 1 to 3.
Yeah, 1's a great result, 2 cosy, 3's diabolical.
We'll see what results in that. Let's go to this.
Let's certainly do it. Winter is coming. Save money and get a Walco Guardian pool cover today. Visit walco.com.au.
The FIVEAA Sports Show's Where Are They Now? Past legends, past glories.
Yes, love this segment every week. And this man, well, a North Melbourne Premiership player, 124 games from 228 goals. Had a couple of games at Collingwood, which we'll ask about as well. I'll tell you what, but he's had a massive impact off the field as well as on the field. Can we please make welcome the Lambassador, Sam Kekovich. G'day, Sam.
G'day, gentlemen. Good evening.
Good evening indeed, mate. Take us back through your footy career first and where you grew up and the like, and the origin of the Kekovich name.
Right, where do I start? I've just been masticating on a 16-point rack of lamb, so my memory is not all that clear. But,
what's masticating mean?
Like something you couldn't do, chew. And I'm just washing it down with a firkin of my favourite red, so I might be a bit blurred. But anyhow, I'll endeavour to do this justice.
Do your best.
I'll do my best, mate. That's the Australian way.
Yes.
Ask me the first question, the derivative of the surname Kekovich.
Yeah.
Obviously not Anglo-Saxon. It's got a European connotation. It was from Montenegro, Yugoslavia. My parents were freedom fighters, my father and the family. And then, of course, they opposed communism and Nazism and then fought with the Brits in the Middle East. And then they found their way across in those days after the war. 46, you either go to Canada and America or to a place called Australia, and Fremantle in particular, where you would notice over the years, and football in particular, there are a number of the itches there, Jerovic, Gabelich and Bojanic and so forth.
Right.
Where they all migrated. So that's they're the origins, and then of course, I think it was about 56, I was born in Manjimup, up Western Australia, and then we trekked across Nullarbor to the east. Yeah. There we were tobacco sharecroppers. My father was a sharecropper in tobacco. So we moved from places like Gumbow to Kahuna and then ultimately to Myrtleford, which is where people predominantly associate me with.
And when you guys first discovered Australian rules footy, because I know your brother Brian was a premiership player at Carlton, who did you all barrack for at that stage? Was there one club that you all followed or different clubs?
No, different clubs. I'm going to say there certainly wasn't a generational thing that most families endured.
Yeah.
Or enjoyed. I think Brian, from memory, was a keen Melbourne supporter.
Right.
And I was a mad Collingwood supporter in those days.
Unreal.
Yeah, it is.
That's
incredible. And, of course, our annual holiday, of course, was the grand final in Melbourne. We always spent 3 or 4 days as a kid.
Wow.
We were always taken to the Melbourne grand final where, well, we resided in Myrtleford, and there was a prominent Collingwood figure, ended up coaching Albury by the name of Murray Wiedemann, you might recall.
Yes. Yeah.
Superstar in his own right, and of course we had a strong affinity with the Weed, and the Weed always managed to supply tickets for us, way back in those days.
Wow.
So we became very familiar, but we always had a manic obsession to play football. That was our dream, like every other kid like you.
Yeah.
We're no different.
Yeah, Keck, it was.
So,
your
just
brother
that I had
Brian,
a bit more ability than you.
Yeah,
Sorry?
Yeah, that's okay.
You're breaking out.
Well, Sam, you're talking to a 7-time premiership player, and Tim.
I know who I'm talking to. I apologise.
Your brother Brian played for Carlton, as we said, 68 grand finals. Sadly, you lost your younger brother. He was only 17. How did that shape your footy life and your life in general?
Well, look, you never want to use that as an excuse, but you'd all, unless you've been through it, a horrific situation like that, it's very hard to comprehend. It really is. It was just to see your parents bury their own child.
Oh, God.
We're probably conditioned ultimately to bury our parents, as hard as that is. But to see parents bury their children, it's, it's beyond words. And, it sort of not decimated the family, but it changed the whole dynamics of, what the family unit was all alike. There was a lot of hiccups, a lot of things after the event, psychological events, that had impacted on our parents. And not that I want to use that as an excuse, but I think I shared a different perspective on life after that. But nonetheless, we battle on. You've got to move on for the ones to stay alive. And that's the stark reality of the frailties and vagaries of human life.
No,
you don't weep and whinge. We move on and roll up our sleeves and and just respect and recognise the reality of what might transpire.
Yeah, well, you did that. Let's roll forward to the 75 premiership with North. The coach, the players, just reminisce a bit for us, Sam.
Well, it was a fan. You could imagine our first ever since our inception in 1925. Took us 50 years to win our first flag. We had a brief flirtation with it in 74 where we were humiliated by Richmond, where we thought we stood a fairly good chance, and most of the stars of the day, in inverted commas, would perform fairly poorly. So much so that the master coach of the time Ron Barassi, who was our mentor, went on record as saying that he's going to sack half the players, including myself and Blight. I think Blight was in the quorum. But anyhow, it was a low point in time, and in Melbourne or anywhere, losing a grand final, it's probably a very, very lonely place. But redemption was swift, and there's no guarantees. As you know, you asked St Kilda in '66, they would have probably thought, well, we might pick one up in the next year or two, but as history has proven, they're not easy to win. And we were fortunate in '75, and some of the great players of all time, like you talk about the Keith Greggs, you talk about Barry Cable, who's probably arguably the greatest rover of all time.
Agree.
You talk about Wayne Schimmelbusch, you talk about Wade Rantel, and Barry Davis, who we took advantage of a 10-year rule that was prevalent at the time, and some very astute masterminds in admin that we had, like of Alan Ayler, Delbert Mantello, and of course the great Ron Joseph, who just recently passed away, who was arguably, mostly responsible for the recruitment of the entire squad. Then we had great players like Mick Nolan, the Galloping Gasometer, who is the only one that's missing at the moment. We buried Mick about 10 years ago.
Oh, God. The
great man, he what a role. And to this day, Barry Cable still says, as ungainly as he was, and you'll remember the gasometer, he didn't have a portly figure, somewhat portly as you could well imagine. No, it was fairly evident. The graphics were compelling.
Well, he was
and, of course, Barry Cable to this day says he was the best tap ruckman, even better than Polly Farmer.
Wow.
That's a big
So it just shows you, despite his corpulent figure, he still managed to negotiate his passage around the footy ground. So we had all those. We had David Dench, of course, at fullback, and, we had some, not big names, but, terribly, terribly good players like, Rossi Henshaw and Gary Farrant, Johnny Burns, with Arnold Briders. So we had a very, very, very good side.
Talent,
and
that's
of course,
what you
our
need.
first ever premiership was landed. You can imagine what that's like. Not too many people can put their hand up and say they were a member of a first ever.
Yeah.
But that was, yeah. So they were wonderful days, and it's always nice to reflect. And to this day, I remember emblazoned on the wall of the social club was the Hot Gospel. Remember Alan Killigrew?
Yes. Coach Nord.
Well, he did. The prophetic words of the great man blazoned on the wall of the social club read very clearly, the 20 men that bring home North Melbourne's first ever premiership will gain football immortality.
Wow.
Wow.
That's fantastic.
Most of the side couldn't spell cat prior to reading, so we had to digest that. But I'll tell you what, it resonates now. We all understand what it means.
Well,
and wherever we meet, as you guys would attest to, and you've all been through that, when you've achieved something of significance of that ilk, there's a common bond formed that's unbreakable, and regardless of your standing or the dynamics or the finances, money can't buy those particular moments in time.
Hey, Sam, post your footy career, I'm really intrigued when the whole Lamb ad campaign started and you led the way, and it's just been so successful for the lamb industry. How did it come about, and how did you get approached?
Erudition and good looks were a prerequisite. But,
well, we knew that.
And you grasp on the English language.
Well, do you want to start again? No, all right. I used to. See, we've forgotten how to laugh in this country. We're rooted. Anyhow, look. I used to do a show on the Fat. You might remember the show on the Fat on the ABC.
Yeah, Tony.
And I used to do political monologues, and we should take the piss out of nondescripts that permeate our society for about a minute. So I was a very wise man in the MLA, the Meat and Livestock Association, who had a great vision and thought that, my rhetoric down the barrel, it makes sense, I'm Sam Pekovic.
There it is.
Would resonate with the average punter with a bit of tinkering of some, very clever scripts.
Yeah.
And as they say in the classics, the rest is history.
It is.
And, with by far probably the most successful campaign in the history of Australian television.
Well, they get some pork on your fork, says hello.
Oh, mate, it's a B grade event by comparison. Let me assure you.
Come on, Keck.
In fact, manifest modesty precludes me elaborating in detail the exact magnitude of the success of the campaign.
What did you just say?
Yeah, that's why he did it. Mate, you've been a great guest speaker and MC for many years with lines like that. How much of that have you done, and how much do you still do today?
Public speaking?
Yeah.
Yeah, I still do a fair bit. Yeah, actually, as a matter of fact, you caught me in Brisbane at the moment.
Wow.
I'm speaking at so I still, from time to time, I get a request to impart some of my eloquent diction upon the masses and leave them in the catatonic state.
Well, I can vouch. Variety SA during COVID got Keck to do it, and it just made the night. I think it was about 1,500 in the room. Sam, it was.
He's done the boss's big day out.
Now, Sam, I've got to ask the chompers.
You can say anything, mate. I've been stripped of my dignity at birth.
Yeah, that's okay. you got a set of chompers. What happened there? Did you smoke the tobacco your parents made in the young days? You've got to... God, you could eat an apple through a picket fence, Sam.
Now you're going to resort to smut, eh? That's your only form of defence. That's your lowest form of defence.
Okay, well, you keep your toothbrush in the broom closet. Okay.
Hey, oh, God, strike a lot. Okay, I'll play the game with you. My teeth... don't you like them? I thought
they're a bit too big. I think they're too white and too big. You could have gone the next size down and put a shade of yellow on them, I reckon.
Well, not now. Oh, well, in those days, I got them before I did the lamb campaign. You got no idea how chewy the meat was, all that game and venison and so forth. If I had have known I was going to do the lamb commercial, I would have bought one slightly less.
Oh, classic. He's an amazing character.
Fantastic.
I love you, mate. We really do enjoy your company, mate. Thank you very much, and we look forward to perhaps seeing you in Adelaide in not too distant future.
Yeah, no, I got a lot of mates in Adelaide. I love the place, and you do a great job, boys, even though I might have sort of gone a bit over the top with you, but then again, you are in ratings and you need to lift your game. So enjoy.
Well done, Sammy.
And remember next time you take a drink of water, remember those that dug the well, all right?
Yeah, great call. Well done, mate. You're a legend. Sam Kekovich, where are they now for Walco? Brilliant.
He is spot on because being from WA, the Sumiches, the Jakoviches, the Kekoviches.
Yeah, correct.
So I didn't know the history because when I did some research on Sam, he's born in Manjimup. I'm thinking, how was he in Manjimup and how did he get over to Victoria? Well, he just told us. One of the great characters. And his football career, he's a premiership player.
And like he said,
he won a BNF.
To be the first ever.
There you go.
That's massive, isn't it?
He's immortal.
Well done, Sam.
Yeah, he makes your cheeks hurt, doesn't he? Winter is coming. Time to get a Walco Guardian pool cover. It keeps chemicals sealed off from the light, water clean, and no need for your pump. Walco.com.au. The tribunal is still deliberating as we speak, so we'll get you the update from Junior Rioli very, very soon. Here's your traffic, though, for your chance to win a $4 million grand prize. Go to homelottery.com.au.
At Payneham South, got a motorcycle on fire following an earlier crash. Portrush Road near Lewis. Rode really heavy delays on the drive home. Avoid it if you can. Another collision. This one's at Christie Downs, Moreton Road near the Elizabeth Road roundabout, and got lights on the flash at Dry Creek, Port Wakefield Road near the Salisbury Highway. Busy at the moment, South Road at Anzac Highway with Cameras Gorge Road, Athelston, and Hillier Road at Ranella. This May, Pop Chain T-Marts have great buy 3, get 1 free plus instant cashback deals with 15 stores located in Adelaide. They'll look after you. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA Sports Show with Rowey and Timmy G. Caroline Wilson joins the 5AA Sports Show every Thursday afternoon from 5. Thanks to Harvey Norman Clearance Centre. Great range with manufacturer's warranties. Harvey Norman Clearance Centre, 919 Marion Road, Marion.
I'm here with Adam at Cherry Glen Osmond to see the new Cherry Emoda 5. What a spectacular looking car, but it's more than a showstopper. Why don't we jump in and take a look? Wow, beautiful interior. So, Adam, talk us through some of the features.
It has it all, Will, including customisable ambient lights, custom voice commands, safety tech and so much more.
And all from $33,000, which is insane. Book a test drive today at gocherry.com.au.
G'day, it's Eddie May from NRG Solar. More and more South Australians are taking control of their energy bills with solar and battery storage. In fact, Australians are taking up battery storage in record numbers because they're sick of rising power bills and being locked into a system where someone else calls the shots. The other huge bonus of going with NRG solar and battery storage is that you'll be protected from blackouts with an uninterrupted power supply. Take control. Visit nrgsolar.com.au.
Time to find out what's making news in the Channel 7 newsroom as we welcome Mike Smithson to the show. And Mike, you got some good news for us.
Yeah, Timmy, a police officer's remarkable recovery after being stabbed in the neck, a follow from that horrible story last week. Now, what the budget means for you and your family and why it could lift interest rates, that's not such good news. An Adelaide driver rammed twice in a terrifying road rage attack. Donald Trump forced to pay up over a shock sex abuse case. How your supermarket shop is about to change forever. And see the incredible SA mission to relocate 20,000 fish. And I'm popping down to Government House for a very special coronation event tonight. I'm hanging out with the big knobs, perhaps have a sherry or two, you never know. These stories and more coming up at 6.
Enjoy, Mike, and all the team at Channel 7. There's only one choice, 7 News tonight at 6.
Hi, Katie Bridges here, market lead at FIVEAA. The Vinnie's CEO Sleepout is back, June 22nd at the home of tennis in SA, The Drive. 2023 will mark my 3rd time sleeping out. I keep coming back to the Vinnie's CEO Sleepout because everyone deserves a safe place to call home, and I know the funds we raise are in good hands with Vinnie's. If you're a business or community leader who cares about our community like I do, don't drop the ball. Sign up now at ceosleepout.org.au.
Of all the trillions of atoms in the universe, how special it is to think that the atoms of comets, volcanoes, brontosauruses and Shakespeare live on in you, me, chainsaws, pizza ovens, decorative garden meerkats. The middle aisle of Aldi Special Pies. It's special. You can buy every Wednesday and Saturday at Aldi. Good. Different.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
27 minutes after 5, Craig Foster coming up shortly from Stan Sport. The tribunal is still deliberating as we speak. We'll get that update very shortly, but lots of texts coming in on the unique Homestyle Foods text line, proudly baking for hundreds of South Australian businesses, large and small, for 35 years.
Just on Keck, he's getting a lot of good comments. Could listen to Sam for hours. Another one, Rowey only caught the last minute of the Sam K. Did you ask him what was the reason he missed the official 1975 premiership photo?
Wow. I didn't know he missed it.
Well,
Oh, dear.
He missed that one.
We'll have to text him.
His English vocab, to me, is like listening to someone speak another language. I didn't understand a word he said. When he got on the run.
Well, I knew that's probably why he was doing it, but yes.
He's an entertaining man.
When he said, I delivered the speech and I sent the crowd catatonic, and I could see your face going, cat who?
Yeah.
He's brilliant.
But that's his act, isn't it?
That's his act, and
That's
he's
his
so
act.
good at it. And I've actually forgot about that show, The Fat. Tony Squires was the host. It was on the ABC, and I used to catch it when free-to-air TV was all you could watch back then.
Oh, he was
And
hilarious.
he used to deliver these monologues straight down the barrel. And it was so funny and impressive that's obviously where they got the idea and thought, right, let's get the lamb ads on there.
For those on the text line are saying, what are you talking about with his chompers? Just Google Sam Kekovich. You need me to spell it out?
Like a latest
and
image.
Then type on the Google search image and tell me if he's got the veneers too big and too wide.
Well, he was taken aback by your comments, but he's responded well.
It's all out of
He
whack.
said I had to eat that much lamb, and it was hard to keep the teeth in order.
Imagine him eating corn off a cob. He'd just chew through that
Straight
like a
over,
chainsaw.
Yep. It would be 29 after 5. We're going to get David Bruce's take in the newsroom for 5:30 headlines, and then Craig Foster from Stan Sport next.
The 5AA Sports Show, Rowey and Timmy G.
5AA's Tech Talk with your host, Adelaide tech guy Richard Pascoe. Thanks to Harvey Norman Computers.
Wearable tech is a fantastic way to enhance your health and fitness routine and hold yourself accountable. The Fitbit Versa 3 is one of the most reliable smartwatches in the game. It's packed with health and fitness features like 24/7 heart rate tracking, sleep management tools, and built-in GPS. Plus, you can receive smartphone notifications and control Spotify when your phone is nearby, and it's water resistant up to 50 metres. It's super easy to use, making the perfect Mother's Day gift for health-conscious or tech-savvy mums. And just in time for Mother's Day, Harvey Norman have a great offer on the Fitbit Versa 3. Save $100 off the recommended retail price and get it for an incredible $198 in black, midnight or pink. This fantastic offer ends May the 17th.
Check out this great offer at a Harvey Norman store near you.
This is Adelaide's 5AA.
David Bruce with the latest news headlines. Tax hikes are helping the federal government fund a range of spending measures which the opposition says will lead to higher inflation. Russian President Vladimir Putin has used Victory Day commemorations in Moscow to warn the world is at a turning point. Donald Trump has vowed to appeal after he was ordered to pay more than $7 million Australian for sexually abusing and defaming a New York magazine writer. And Melbourne has described last night's AFL tribunal decision to uphold Jacob Van Rowan's two-match ban as unjust. The Demons will appeal the decision tomorrow night. Now, 5AA traffic.
Worried about cheap insurance? Who offers great value cover you won't regret? Amy does. Before buying insurance issued by Amy, read the PDS and TMD at amy.com.au and consider whether it's right for you.
At Semaphore, got a crash, Military Road near Highgrave Street. Seaford crash there too, Seaford Road, Commercial Road. And Payneham South got a motorcycle on fire following earlier crash, Portrush Road near Lewis Road. Really heavy delays, avoid if you can on the drive home. Busy right now, Tapley's Hill Road at Grange Road with cameras Grant Road, Ranella and Hallett Road at Stonyfell. The GW and Havel H6 and Havel Joel in a smart SUVs, now available with hybrid technology. Search GW and Havel to find out more. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The latest outlook on the weather, mostly sunny, a top of 20 tomorrow. Currently it's 15. More news at 6, and as it happens on 5AA.
Hurry into Ranella Mazda. We're stocked with CX-5 and CX-9 ready for immediate delivery. No reasonable offer will be refused. CX-5 and CX-9 stock must be cleared. Just 25 minutes from the CBD. Only at Ranella Mazda. LVD 152780.
South Australia's History Festival is here. All May, let the History Trust of South Australia ignite your curiosity and inspire you to wonder. From ghost tours to gardening, architecture, art and ancient wines. Pick up a program from Foodland supermarkets across SA to explore the talks, tours, exhibitions, dinners, dances, wine tastings and much more. With events for all ages and interests across SA. Connect with the sights and stories that make our state great. Book tickets and find out more at festival.history.sa.gov.au.
We all need purpose in our lives. It's what gets us out of bed in the morning and makes us fulfilled and needed. At Lutheran Disability Services, we're focused on building purpose for people living with a disability. By helping adults here in SA find accommodation, live independently and connect with their communities, we empower them to live their best life. We go above and beyond, which encourages the people we support to do the same. Search Lutheran Disability Services to become part of our family today.
Cold mornings. A nice hot shower. If your hot water stops, give Ken a call. Ken Hall Plumbers, your local plumbers since 1983. Hot water replacement? Give Ken a call. 8364 5855.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
26 minutes to 6. I'm going to speak to Dr. James Stewart after 6 o'clock. Who's Dr. James Stewart, you ask? The doctor of Paul Seedsman, a cannabinoid clinician, who will talk us through how he's dealing with Paul Seedsman at the moment, who's in a very delicate situation, of course, with his concussion, and dealing with it in a different way to others.
So no Cheech and Chong gags, or
I wouldn't think he'd like those. No,
No.
I did, but maybe he won't. I watched all those
so
movies.
stick my manners back in.
Well,
I've already upset the apple cart tonight. So,
well, get the hat trick. Go for it, mate. Go for it.
There is. We've got Craig Foster coming up from Sand Sport, so look forward to speaking to him.
Yes.
Home-style foods text line's gone absolutely bunter. A lot of people loving Sam K, and we love your calls too, so keep them coming in, 822 388 We've got that $50 pounds voucher.
Yes,
to give away.
indeed.
Let's do that this half hour, Timmy.
Yep, absolutely. As we get, I've got Mark on the line. G'day, Mark.
G'day, mate. It's your old blowing from last week. Coming back on.
Oh, g'day, mate. How are you?
Oh, I love blow-ins.
Hey, I'm still loving Adelaide too, hey?
Good
on
man.
you, Blowy.
Good man.
Hey, just talking about the unintended consequences, I'm thinking about the Brownlow.
Okay.
Now, who's going to win the Brownlow? Is that someone that's going to be fearful of making a tackle, or someone that's fearsome and makes a tackle?
That's where the game's at, Mark.
Well,
It's
Mark.
a bloody good point. And I think they need to change the rules of the Brownlow. If you got rubbed out for that spoil
Yeah.
and lost the Brownlow or missed a final, you'd be filthy, Mark, wouldn't you?
Absolutely filthy.
Filthy.
Yes, because, well, we knew that Paddy Cripps last year got off a charge.
And he would have lost the Brownlow for that, and people would have spat it. Mark, they've got to take the fairest off the Brownlow. Great call. Get rid of it. It's just the best player.
Okay, well,
Get rid of the fairest.
They're all pretty fair now, aren't they?
Well, I think
Players,
every
don't you
player's
think?
fair.
Yeah.
See, but get rid of that.
Yeah, because we've definitely cleaned
The
the game
Brownlow
up from
is
that point of view, haven't we?
The best player. Bang.
Okay, let's
And if
go
you
with
get
that.
reported and you can still win it because you missed a game, well, bloody hell, how good a player are you?
Actually, give us a call on that, 82230000. Do you want the fairest out of the Brownlow medal?
Well,
Just the best player now.
What if they got suspended 2 or 3 times in the year and they still won it because they're the best? I mean, that'd be very impressive because they would have missed a lot of games.
But I think the thuggery as such has been absolutely
That's the only
removed.
reason it was
Taken
written
away.
in.
And it was written in because of that, and also respect for umpires. Now, we know they're not allowed to even question a free kick, so that's out. We know that
Yeah,
the
get
game's
rid of
cleaned up, so maybe
Get rid of it.
I think you might have
Good
something there,
thought.
Stephen.
Hello, Robbie.
Hey, boys, how we going?
Excellent.
It's good. I just want to talk about the hard tag that Rory Laird's getting every week. And, you know, I saw a couple of weeks ago he threw a punch and it missed. And, man, if it connected, he would have got a few games. And he gave that free away late in the game against Geelong. And, you know, I'm just thinking maybe the boys need to do more to help him out there because he's copping a bit, I reckon.
He'll get used to a tag. I mean,
he should be used to it by now. He's you know,
29, yeah. He didn't get a lot of tag. I don't think he got tagged a lot. I think now, the last couple of weeks, they've done it on purpose. And he's got that bit of a dodgy calf as well, which doesn't help when you're trying to get away from a tag.
He'll be right.
Before we get to Steve at Port Noarlunga, the jury has come through with a grading for Junior Rioli. He has been suspended for 2 matches with impact downgraded from severe to high, so he'll miss against North Melbourne and Melbourne.
Okay.
Well, that's actually
take that.
where we thought it was Monday. So that's actually a good result, I think, in the end for Port to get it down to 2. Yeah, and for Junior.
I think a good result was 1. This is on the money. 3 was over the top.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's where it's then. Let's go to Port Noarlunga. What a beautiful part of Adelaide. Hello, Steve.
Oh, g'day, Stephen, and hello, Tim. Look, probably a bit late on. What was the initial reason for speaking to the Port Adelaide guy, Richardson? Was it to discuss the beer stuff?
Yeah, there was
were 3 issues.
Yeah, three topics.
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt him, but I think, do you know what? As the average footy follower, do you know what? I'm a crow's foot. Honestly, where was the public interest in that beer thing? It was a beat up, and also I didn't like the way he treated Rowey with the the cane corns and the Chad Corns and Warren Treadray. I mean, they're big boys. The club's a big club. They can sort that stuff out themselves. You didn't, Stephen. You didn't throw any petrol on the fire. And to be honest with you, I sound like Ken Cunningham. Then I really not that interested. Sorry. I know it's a bit late on, and probably you've covered a few other topics, more interesting topics. But mate,
Steve, all good, mate. You've won that $50 Powers voucher because
hello.
anyone without trying, they can do a KG. Good
for his
one,
performance
Pontius.
on KG.
That was outstanding. Steve, just to put a full stop to it, we don't come in here to, insert yourself into stories or do it. The club was fully aware of the 3 topics that we requested the club to do through our producer for Richo on the show. Was he or was he not?
Yeah.
Fully aware. They were the 3 topics we were going to grab. We went down that path. It ended up like that. Now, If in any way, shape or form I was disrespectful to anybody, I would apologise. But I don't think I was.
That's good. Good news. Rightio.
Well, you think I was, don't you?
It got a bit of frosty at the end.
Okay. So do I need to ring the club and apologise, or do you think I should ring?
No.
No. All right, then I won't. Hello, Jack.
We're all the better for hearing that, Rowey. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry, mate. I know. Yeah, but mate, my care factor with that topic is nil as well. So.
Yeah, right. Yeah, a bit lower than that myself. Sammy Kekovic took you back to the old sportsman.
Didn't he?
The bread roll and the fruit salad at the end. The Brownlow medalist, mate. That's what they're called now. It's not the bearer, the Brownlow medalist.
Correct.
Plain and simple. Leave it at that.
Yep.
Try that one.
Yep, I agree. Doesn't have to be best and fair. It's just you're the Brownlow medalist. We all know what a Brownlow medalist is.
And we know why it was introduced originally in all medals, McGarry medal, Sandover and the like, was to, one, respect for umpires, and two, get rid of thuggery.
We'll get rid of all of that because you don't need either. Who's
Spot
our
on.
next guest?
Well, hey, I'll tell you what, we've had the Champions League start. It is on the way. We had a game last night. We've got one coming up at 4:30 a.m. our time tomorrow morning. And for Stan Sport, we got Boz himself, Mark Bosnich. Welcome to the show.
Good evening, gentlemen. How are you?
Excellent. So tell us about that first leg. Real Madrid, Man City. Man City, maybe that late one. Good goal to draw it.
Yeah, good goal to draw, but they fully deserved it. And neither side deserved to lose. It was a fantastic game. It was perhaps one of the best games of the season anywhere. Two absolutely quality sides going at each other. Manchester City actually were the better team in the first half, but they couldn't quite break through. And then all of a sudden, first shot on target from Real Madrid, and Vinicius Jr. scored an absolute cracker. And then they, as great teams do in any sport, they really went for Manchester City's throat at the start of that second half, playing at home in front of a vociferous crowd. And to be fair to Manchester City, they held out. They somehow held out. They showed great character, and they got their the just rewards in Kevin De Bruyne, who hit an absolute rocket. If anyone's got a chance to go and stand and have a look at the replay, just go on the rapid recap and have a look at that goal, because if you had a speed gun on it, I think it would be in something close to 120, 130 kilometres an hour. It was a rocket. So everything really well poised for the second leg next week in Manchester. But it was a fantastic game.
And of course, there'll be some crazy atmosphere going on tonight at the Derby di Milano.
Oh, it will be. It will be. And as we know, here in Australia, we have a massive Italian community and a lot of both Inter and AC Milan fans. First time they've met each other in the Champions League since 2005, and first time, I think, since 2003 that they met each other in a semi-final. That time, AC Milan coming out on top. Two teams are doing very, very well in Serie A. Napoli obviously won the Scudetto, the Serie A title, but Inter are in fourth and AC Milan are fifth, only 2 points behind, and both of them are within striking distance of second place Juventus. It's going to be an absolutely fantastic game. They've both come through very tough routes. Inter Milan had Bayern Munich and Barcelona in their group, and they come through that, whereas AC Milan had to play Spurs in the round of 16 and then Napoli last round. So they've come through that as well. So everything to look forward to in the morning.
Looking forward to that. EPL race is down the wire. Man City 1 point ahead of Arsenal with a game in hand. Arsenal have 3 games left. Man City have 4 left. This is as tight a finish as I can remember, Boz.
Yeah, well, there was that really tight finish between Liverpool and Manchester City.
Yeah,
I think it was 2 seasons back. That was tight as well. But I think the romance of having somebody new into that little, what was a duo for quite some time, it was always either going to be Manchester City or Liverpool. It was quite obvious for the last, you could say 4 seasons really. And this time round, it's a young, and a team that no one would have tipped at the start of the season to be in this position in Arsenal. And they've done a fantastic job. They've lost the lead. They had those 3 draws and that really heavy loss to Manchester City away, which would have, really dented their confidence. But they've come back, and they had a great win on the weekend against Newcastle. Like you said, they've got 3 games to go. All they can do is win their 3 games. Manchester City have got a bigger goal difference, so that's like, you could say, worth a point. There's no way that they're going to catch up that goal difference, Arsenal. And look, a lot will depend on how Manchester City go in this Champions League club, because it means so much to them. If they happen to go out to Real Madrid, which I don't think they will, I think they'll beat Real Madrid. But if they do, I think from a psychological perspective, there'll be a real chance for Arsenal. All they can do is win those 3 games. That's all they can do.
Well, with all the cheating Man City's done and the money they've thrown at it, they really do need to win the championship, Boz, don't they?
Well, that's not been proven at all. So I'm on the other side of that fence. Yeah, a lot of people have no, that's okay. That's okay. You're entitled to your opinion, but a lot of people have branded it all about, but nothing's been proven whatsoever, and they're very, very confident of these charges. That they'll beat these charges just like they did from UEFA.
Hey, the Liverpool-Man United battle for fourth, I mean, that's the difference between playing in the Champions League next season, isn't it?
Massive.
Well, it is. I know, and look, Liverpool are 1 point off Manchester United, only 2 points off Newcastle. But Newcastle and Manchester United got a game in hand. But at this time of the season, it's always better to have points on the table than to have games in hand.
Yeah, great call.
Hey, and just on Celtic before we let you go, back-to-back Scottish premierships under Ange. He's on track for the treble. He's got to be in line for a Premier League job.
Oh, I think he is. There's no doubt about that. As long as he keeps being successful, and he has been, like you said, there's 4 trophies, and they've got the Scottish FA Cup final coming up against Inverness, which they're heavy favourites for, which will give him the treble this year. There'll be 5 trophies in 2 seasons.
Wow.
So I think there's a whole lot of clubs that are looking at him. As long as he's successful and he keeps being successful, that's the most important thing. And just before we go as well, I don't know if anyone saw this morning's game, but just to re-announce really that Stan Sport have secured the rights to all the European football for an extra 3 years.
Wow.
So that takes us up to 2027. So that was absolutely fantastic news. So well done to everybody at Stan and also everybody at Channel 9 as well who really helped. So absolutely fantastic news.
Do a great
Brilliant.
job.
Well done, Boz. A comprehensive report as usual, but we might catch up with you as we go on to the Champions League final.
Anytime, gentlemen. Anytime. Take care.
Mark Bosnish, we love him by Boz, Stan Sport, so we missed out on Foz, but we got Boz.
There it is.
And I like Boz.
It rhymes.
I would have asked Foz, has he got any feedback from that coronation broadcast he did with ABC?
That's
Because
interesting.
that got a little bit willing, didn't it?
That got interesting.
Maybe that's why we got Boz and not Foz.
It could be.
I like Foz, but I prefer Boz.
He's a great talker.
13-6, and of course, if you do want to get on Stan Sport, you can watch every match of the UEFA Champions League, Europa League, and Europa Conference League live ad-free and in stunning 4K UHD on Stan Sport. Let's check your traffic, and if you want your chance to win a $4 million grand prize, visit homelottery.com.au.
At Panem South, got a motorcycle on fire following nearly a crash. Portrush Road near Lewis Road, really heavy delays. Avoid if you can on the drive home. Christie Downs, a crash there too. Morton Road near the Elizabeth Road roundabout. And Mount Osmond, truck broken down on the freeway up track. See the Mount Osmond ramp, speeds down to 40 in both directions. Busy as we speak, Tapley Hill Road, Grange Road with the camera, Grant Road at Renoa. 1 in 4 young people experiencing distress suffer in silence. Help break the silence. Download the free Your Crew app and join the challenge at makenoiseyourway.com.au. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show. 5AA Breakfast.
Tom Wren's in the 5AA Breakfast studio.
Looks like the schedule is about to be released for the upcoming Test series, and it looks like we're going to host the West Indies again.
Oh, God, really?
Informing Adelaide.
Why, Rennie? Why 2 summers in a row?
I know. It's bizarre.
Who's in charge of scheduling? You can just get out the back and just get on the PIMS.
Well, that's...
Doesn't matter what's going on. For
really.
2 days.
Yeah.
6 a.m. weekdays on 5AA.
Need a forklift? Don't just get a forklift, get a Toyota forklift. Toyota is the world's #1 forklift brand with a great range of pallet jacks, walkie stackers and reach forklifts right up to their leading Toyota counterbalance forklifts. Legendary reliability and safety with cleaner, greener electric options, Toyota can tailor the right forklift solution for you. It's all part of the Toyota Forklift Advantage. For more, visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Get a Toyota forklift.
Hello, I'm Lynn Andrews. At Lynn Andrews Real Estate, we've seen a lot of change in the property market over the last 50 years, but one thing remains constant: our passion to help people invest in the future, to build strong property portfolios in commercial and residential real estate. Our commitment to property investment over the years means we have a wealth of knowledge to share with you. We are here to help. Visit lynnandrews.com.au.
Budget car truck rental, you know what? They make life easy. Whether you need to move equipment, move a house, move fresh produce, move people, whatever you want to do, you will find the widest variety of vehicles at competitive prices. Whereabouts? At Budget Car and Truck Rental.
Now, their service is excellent too. I can vouch for that. They do make life easy. So my Gemma has a car licence. She could drive one of the trucks when we
Correct.
did a removal.
Yeah.
And just
And
rocked
you've-
up in. They looked
you've moved
after it.
recently, haven't you?
My word.
Yeah.
From refrigerated trucks and vans to utes to four-wheel drive sedans, wagons to buses you can drive on a car licence, even big trucks. Budget car and truck rental have the vehicle to get it done. And this is what we all like, the price, and it's zero fuss.
Correct. With
Zero.
Seven convenient locations across the metro area, including their new one at 354 North East Road, Clemsick. You'll find a budget near you. I'm telling you, just drive around the corner. There's one. So if you're moving out or taking a load to the tip or going on a big trip, do it with Budget Car and Truck Rental. Call 13 27 27. That's 13 27 27.
Whether you're a sparky, a chippy, a fiery or a bikey, whether they call you curly, tubby or tiny, whether next door means a few feet or a few miles, we know the weather's harsh in South Australia. But Olympic Industries carports, verandas and sheds are tougher than most. And if they're strong enough in the country, they'll be strong enough in the city. Some say strong as an ox, others say hard as nails. We just say built to last. Olympic Industries.
Dream big, South Australia, because you could win big in the Hospital Research Foundation Home Lottery. The $4 million grand prize built by Scott Salisbury Homes in Melbourne could be yours. Plus, there's a catalogue bursting with over 13,000 prizes, including luxury cars, holidays and cash. With a 1 in 15 chance of winning, get your tickets today. Join the fight. To see full details, visit homelottery.com.au. Licence in 14364.
Here on Australia's highest mountain, Aldi is announcing Australia's lowest prices. We won't be beaten on your weekly shop. Aldi, good, different.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
8 minutes to 6. Dr. James Stewart, the doctor or clinician of Paul Seedsman, coming up after 6 o'clock. Lots of time still for your calls. And if you missed it earlier, Port Adelaide Junior Rioli suspended for 2 matches. They had their impact grading downgraded from severe impact to high impact, so 3 games down to 2.
Good result for Junior and the club. Let's get to the phones. We've got Adam. G'day, Adam, on the MRO.
Yeah, MRO. G'day, Rowey and Tim. Look, MRO Tribunal, they very often seem to not see eye to eye, confuse the life out of everybody. And I think it's been festering probably for the last 2 or 3 years. And I reckon the crux of the whole issue has got down to the AFL and the umpire's boss telling the umpires not to report on the field any incident. They leave it like it just drips until Monday or Sunday. Then sometimes you get a tribunal and it goes right through the week. You get 3 or 4 and it just everyone just talks about it. And then sometimes you get overturned decisions and it's the complete opposite. And then the wording is confusing to everyone, including supporters, but players, coaches, everybody. Now, can somebody tell the football fan, and I've umpired, mate, I've umpired for many years, can somebody tell us who now follow football, the changed game that it is at the moment, why the umpires, and there are 4 AFL umpires now, why they are told, they're obviously told, not to report incidents on the ground if they see them on match day. Because I'll tell you what, get the umpires in the tribunal hearings. This would clear it all up. They're not there. If they see something, get them in there. This is the responsibility of the umpires. It used to be, when we were told to umpire, back in the 80s and 90s, get the umpires in there and sure, question the umpires. But the advocate should be questioning him. The tribunal chairman and everyone else should be questioning him. But you've got to reach a conclusion. You can't have too many grey areas. The umpires, there are 4 out there now, guys. They're not taking the responsibility like they used to. They're on a lot of money, but they're not making the decisions. And I'm frustrated that the umpire's ability that used to be there, the officiating and the authority has been taken away from them. And I think it's the umpire's responsibility to not only pay the free kicks and award the free kicks, but also watch and make sure there aren't any things happening and report them if they see them. Get to the tribunal and sort it out on that day.
Yeah, it's rare they do. Adam, passionate call. This is all on the back of Demon Jacob Van Ruin. He went to the tribunal. The 2-match suspension was upheld, and he misses for a spoil. Jeff Gleeson is the chair of the AFL, and he's the man that makes the summaries. This is what he said. We find that a reasonable player... Now, what's a reasonable player? Were you a reasonable player, Timmy?
Yeah, average.
Well, you were better than that. We find that a reasonable player would have foreseen that in spoiling the way he did, it would have almost inevitably resulted in a forceful blow to Ballard, quote unquote. That has got me completely and utterly stuffed.
Yeah, look, that's...
So what? So okay, take a mark. So he can roll that. This is Mr. Gleeson. I need you in the head. Took the screamer. Need you in the head. Knock you clean motherless out.
That one has not happened.
Well, I'm telling you, that's the next one.
Yeah, it hasn't happened as
So
yet.
I would reasonably understand that if I go flat out with my knee up and hit you in the head, it'll knock you out. Wouldn't I?
It'll be over.
Yeah.
Wouldn't I?
Mm.
God almighty.
Yeah. Hey,
where are we going with this?
A couple of good texts too for our good friends at Unique Homestyle Foods. Hi guys, Wayne Carey wasn't always the fairest player, but man, he was definitely one of the best players. And another one to back up that from Matt. Hi boys, I agree. Make the Brownlow for the best player. Corey McKernan lost a Brownlow and a Rising Star for pathetic suspensions. How's that one?
What about the last
Remember
one?
Corey McKernan missing out on that?
Yeah. Was it a trip?
I think no, he slid and accidentally kneed Jason Dunstall in the head. And he got suspended, everybody in that era, because I reckon Robert Harvey won the medal. And when Robert Harvey was up there, he said, who got more votes? And they said, Corey McKernan. He said, well, this is not mine then. He said that on stage. Robert Harvey.
Well, so he went on to win another one.
Yes,
I like this
correct.
one. Port have got the Eartha kits with Rowe. What's new? No, they haven't.
No.
Don't insert me into that. Or have they?
He has.
Oh.
Since we've been talking about concussion too, after the 6 o'clock news coming up, we're going to speak to Paul Seedsman's doctor, Dr. James Stewart. There's a lot to talk through there. He's been battling concussion. How's he fighting it? We'll find out after the news.
The 5AA Sports Show with Rowey and Timmy G. The Power have developed a hard edge in 2023. Their 5 straight wins have been done the hard way, winning the tight ones.
An absolute thriller. 32 scoring shots to 22.
Saturday Arvo on 5AA. The Power are keen to keep their hot streak going in chilly Tassie as they take on the Roos.
Massive for Port Adelaide.
5AA is your home for football.
I'm here at Cherry Glen Osmond. It's home to the car that everyone is talking about, the Cherry Emotive 5. What a spectacular vehicle. It's light years ahead of everything in its class and starting from 33,000 drive away. It's got everything you dream of in a car. The tech is mind-blowing and it comes with a 5-star NCAP safety rating, 7-year factory warranty and fixed price servicing. If you're looking for a new car, you've got to go Cherry. Book a test drive at gocherry.com.au.
This week at Foodland, Aussie lamb whole or half legs. Roasting value for Mother's Day, just $11.50 a kilo. Till May 16th while stocks last.
Foodland, the mighty South Aussies, yeah.
For the very first time, Mary Poppins is flying into Adelaide. The critically acclaimed new production arrives this July. Don't miss out. Book at Ticketek.
Bardsy here from Barbecue Adelaide Weber Stores. Are you having a killer feed for Mother's Day and need some inspiration? Well, come see me at Barbecue Adelaide Weber Stores for everything barbie, rubs, spices or just some advice. Or do the right thing and get your mum a brand new Weber or some Yeti gear for Mother's Day. So, for everything barbie this Mother's Day, head down to Barbecue Adelaide Weber Stores, Jeb's Cross and Mile End. And prepare to get lit.
Hi, Rory Sloan here for You Install It Kitchens. Are you planning a DIY renovation? Then visit the team at You Install It for the complete DIY kitchen solution. You Install It Kitchens cabinetry is custom sized and pre-assembled with Caesarstone benchtops, Oliveri sink and taps, and a large range of appliances by Fisher & Paykel. Visit a showroom, Modbury, Churchill Centre, Norwood, Glandore and Lonsdale, or visit the You Install It website for online 3D design. You Install It Kitchens, the complete DIY kitchen solution.
Were you a fan of Roy Orbison, Simon and Garfunkel, Frankie Valli, Cliff Richard, or the Bee Gees? Well, don't miss the all-new Robertson Brothers 1960s variety TV show with special guest stars Simon Brooke McLaughlin from the Jersey Boys and the #1 Roy Orbison tribute artist Dean Bourne. The Robertson Brothers 1960s variety TV show.
Her Majesty's Theatre, Adelaide, June 29.
Annual hearing checks are an important part of your general health and wellbeing regime. If you're over 26, you can book a free hearing check with the experts at Audica. If you have a detected hearing loss, Audica offers a 2-week free hearing aid trial, so you can experience our hearing aids in your own home with your loved ones around you. With over 350 clinics, find one near you and book a free hearing check today. Visit audica.com.au or call 1-800-HEARING.
Online, on DAB Digital Radio and on 1395 AM. Talking Adelaide. This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Mostly sunny tomorrow, a top of 20 degrees. With the 6 o'clock news, I'm David Bruce. The government has spent the day selling its $20 billion budget cash splash and rejecting claims it's ignored Middle Australia. Federal political editor Michael Packey has the details.
Rates, increase various welfare payments and offer discounts on electricity bills are the key planks of Labor's second budget. The opposition's Angus Taylor argues the spending could fuel more interest rate hikes.
Why has the Treasurer brought down a budget which makes inflation worse?
Jim Chalmers rejects the claim, saying his budget offers relief to the most vulnerable as well as middle-income households.
To give people the support that they need, but try and do it in a targeted and responsible way.
The budget papers predict inflation will come down over the next year. Economic growth will slow, unemployment will rise, and this year's budget surplus will turn into a deficit.
Labor has accused the opposition of hypocrisy as a brawl erupts over Australia's migration rate. The budget predicts an extra 1.5 million arrivals are expected over the next 5 years. The coalition claims the government has allowed the migration rate to spiral without the infrastructure to cope. But Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has told Parliament that's a convenient excuse.
This leader of the opposition said this: we need migration. The government's announcement to increase the permanent migration intake has been delayed because of union pressure.
Police are becoming increasingly concerned about a woman who's been missing in the Streaky Bay area for a few days. The 48-year-old woman from Queensland, whose first name is Julie, was last seen about 5 p.m. on Sunday. She was wearing jeans and a blue striped top with a large star on the front of it and light-coloured boots. Police have received a report of a woman seen hitchhiking along Jessie Flat Road between 8:30 and 10:30 on Monday morning. Police would like to hear from anyone who saw the woman or who has dashcam footage. Lawyers for Donald Trump are defending the former US president's decision not to testify at a civil rape trial against him. A New York jury has found Mr. Trump liable for sexually abusing writer E. Jean Carroll in a department store dressing room in 1996. The court has also ruled that he defamed her. Mr. Trump's lawyer, Joe Tapakina, says there was no need for him to take the stand.
This was a circus atmosphere, and having him be here would be more of a circus. And again, what I said in the summation yesterday, reigns true, holds true. It's that, what more could he say other than I didn't do it? And he said that under oath here. It's hard to prove a negative. Molly, I can say you stole my pen, prove you didn't do it. How would you prove it?
Donald Trump has been ordered to pay more than $7 million Australian in damages. He's seeking to appeal the ruling. Russian President Vladimir Putin has used Victory Day commemorations to warn the world is at a turning point. He says Russia's future rests on the soldiers fighting in Ukraine. Now turning to 5AA Sport. Port Adelaide's Junior Rioli has had some success before the AFL tribunal. The former Eagle was facing at least a 3-match suspension for striking, but he's had the impact component of the charge reduced to high, and he'll only be out for 2 weeks. Melbourne has described last night's tribunal decision to uphold Jacob Van Rowen's two-match ban as unjust and challenging the fabric of the game. The Demons will appeal the decision tomorrow night. The Giants don't want to put too much of their energy shutting down Collingwood star Nick Dacos on Sunday. The Swans physically targeted the 20-year-old last weekend, while other clubs have been reluctant to tag him. Giants coach Adam Kingsley says it's a fine balance.
We'll have to manage his influence over the game. If we let him run free and do whatever he wants, then he'll punish us, and it'll be very, very difficult for us to win the games. So we've got to be able to control him as best as we can, and then there's a number of other players that pose the same issue. We've got to be able to manage their influence on the game as well as maximising ours.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
Worried about cheap insurance? Who offers great value cover you won't regret? Amy does. Before buying insurance issued by Amy, read the PDS and TMD at amy.com.au and consider whether it's right for you.
At Payneham South, got a motorcycle on fire following earlier crash, Portrush Road near Lewis Road. Got heavy delays both directions, avoid if you can at the moment. Seaford, another crash, Seaford Road near Commercial Road and Mount Osman. Got a truck broken down on the freeway, up track near the Mount Osman ramp. Busy at the moment, Fullerton Road at the Britannia roundabout, and got a camera at Gorge Road at Athelson. Shopping is so much easier when you use the Coles app. Plan ahead to see your savings. Create an in-store shopping list to help you stick to your budget. Download the Coles app today. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
And the 5AA forecast.
Get the Toyota Forklift Advantage. Visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Mostly sunny tomorrow, a top of 20 after getting down to 9 overnight. Friday, a shower or two, 19. Sunny on Saturday, 21. And then mostly sunny, 22 on Sunday. Currently, it's 13. Now, let's hear what's happening on 9 News tonight.
Free doctors' visits, help with energy bills and rent assistance. But does the federal budget have anything for average Australians? The information you need. Plus, from the supermarket to business class, the secrets to getting more out of your shopping rewards points. A MyGov scam alert, and why laughter really is the best medicine. I'm Brenton Rankless. The full story on 9 News, happening now.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
6 after 6. Get involved, 8223 0000. Love to hear from you. You can tune in on the Foodland live stream on Facebook and YouTube, or you can get involved on the text line on the unique Homestyle Foods text line. They've been proudly baking hundreds of South Australian businesses, large and small, for 35 years.
I read this headline, Adelaide Crows wingman Paul Seedsman turns to medicinal cannabis in concussion battle. And we spoke about the sport and we thought, well, let's get to the bottom of that. Let's see whether the AFL's supporting it. Are they going to fund it? So we got the Dr. James Stewart on. Doc, thanks for your time.
Thanks, guys.
Tell us about this treatment.
Yeah, so I'm following on from a lot of research that's coming out from the United States. Obviously, chronic CTE, chronic traumatic encephalopathy, is a big thing over there with the NFL players. And, it's clear what we're doing at the moment isn't working. I mean, a lot of the stuff that we're focusing on with concussion at the moment is more about detecting if someone's being concussed rather than actually protecting the brain if they do get concussed. And so I've been working in the cannabinoid medicine space for the last sort of 5 years. And just the subtle changes I see in my patients, no matter what I'm treating them for, whether it would be arthritis, back pain, anxiety or whatever, there's a common theme that they generally report some mental clarity, some, increased mood, better sleep, headaches go away, that kind of thing. And so looking at the research that's coming out from the States, there's evidence that some products in some of the molecules in cannabis actually can dial down inflammation in the brain, in the nerves of the brain, which happens inflammation when you have trauma, so head knocks, that kind of thing. You create inflammation, and that's what leads on to the headaches and the symptoms that we're seeing with people having. So it's looking really, really promising. And I've got Paul. I'm trying to help him out at the moment. Seedsman, he's a bloody great fella.
He's a ripper.
He's a bloody champ. He sort of came and he's got headaches, a bit of poor concentration, low mood, problem sleeping, that kind of thing. And so we've started him on a bit of treatment. And look, it's we've got his sleep a lot better. That's it so far. I haven't been able to get on top of the headaches or the concentration or anything like that. So we've just improved his sleep a little bit, but we've got a lot of way to go.
Okay. The AFL, should they support it? Have you got some funding from anyone with this, Dr.
So
James?
I went and presented at the Senate last week in the inquiry into concussion with repetitive head injuries. And the AFL presented there, and Cycling Australia and Cricket Australia and that kind of thing. And yeah, I presented sort of my findings that I found from overseas, and I've asked the Senate for some funding, and I also suggested that the AFL, AFLW, NRL, NRLW should contribute as well, because we could pump out a study in one season. So next winter, we get the AFL, NRL lined up. We could get so much data, and we could be the world leaders in this research. And, you know, within the space of 12 months, we know if this will help, and we can start giving it to players. But it's not only athletes that would benefit from this. You know, it's car crash victims, domestic violence victims, one-punch victims who, you know, it could become the normal. If someone's had a concussion from no matter what it is, you get a certain dose of this product, and that will help you in the long term.
Dr. James, how is it administered? How do you take it?
So you get an Orchie bottle, and then you go and cut the next door neighbour's hose, and then you pack...
Oh, I told you had a touch of the cheeks and chongs. Oh, boy, where are we? We're
I was trying to keep him away from that, but the whole interview...
I thought I lost you there for a bit.
You just opened the door.
No, I've got to make one joke. If it's not me, make it someone else. I'm surprised you didn't have Bob Marley playing.
Well, we were trying to be professional, and I worded Rowey up and said, right, don't you take this down the Cheech and Chong path, and you did.
I did. Sorry about that. So it's an oil that goes under the tongue. We can also do capsules as well. So same as you take normal medicine, it's a capsule, but we use the oils because everyone needs a different dose. So I'm not sure what one person needs the other. So a dose with an oil where you can adjust the amount of syringes.
Okay. I've noticed a couple of people that you've worked with. Andrew Johns, of course, an NRL champion. But Lauren Jackson, of course, she made an incredible comeback to the game at 40 years of age, and she had a lot of knee troubles. Obviously, this has helped her get over that arthritis and the like.
Yeah, massively, and she's another absolute bloody champion, a legend of a person. But yeah, like when Lauren retired, it was, you know, she couldn't retrain, she couldn't recover. Her body just couldn't keep up with the training demands that she'd need to keep playing, and then, you know, she was actually in a lot of pain, was having troubles running around, playing with the kids, that kind of thing. And then we started her on a medicinal cannabis trial. And, you know, it wasn't that it you know, all of a sudden she was this new Wonder Woman. All it did was it allowed her to put a few decent training sessions together in a week, and then every couple of days, and then she could train. So that's how it helped her. It wasn't like this magical cure that made her feel better 100%. You know, all it did was just make her recover a bit better, because it dials down inflammation, and not only in the nerves like we spoke about before, but also in your muscles as well. So your recovery time is a lot quicker. So that's how she made such an amazing comeback, because she was just able to train and start putting the miles and the hours back into the gym. And then, you know, what we saw when she played for the World Cup, that game, where we won the bronze medal last year, that was, if anyone hasn't watched that, you've got to go and watch that. That is a highlight.
Yeah,
unbelievable effort by her.
It was. I went on a cruise, and a lot of the women were vaping, using vapors with a cannabinoid.
Yes.
Now, over in some US states, it's legal. Where are we with all of that? Do you think we should legalise marijuana?
I think we should, but it's got to be regulated. So, if we just let it go, and, you know, being humans and especially Aussies, we don't have the best self-control, and we do tend to take things and abuse them. So, you know, I think, you know, it should be legal, but it just should need to be regulated. You can't have super high THC concentration. People should be able to grow a couple of plants in their backyard because they know what they're growing. You know, this was our medicine up until 100 years ago when it got banned. Everyone used to, you know, everyone had it in the backyard. They would cook with, you know, hemp and that kind of stuff. And so I think it should be, but it needs to be controlled. It can't just be we're legal, go mad, because businessmen will unfortunately come in and see the opportunity and really provide the wrong things. But no, I think it should. And just on that with the vaping as well, there's, you know, in the press at the moment, the big thing about kids vaping and nicotine vaping and that kind of thing, that's terrible, and that should not be allowed to go. And that's totally different to what we talk about when we say using cannabis as a vape.
Okay, under the tongue. I mean, I'm going to bring it back to me, sorry, Doc, but I get migraines. Would medicinal cannabis help me and those symptoms?
It can, it can, it can. So migraines are a bit of are one of these things that we don't really know why they happen. Along the lines of things like fibromyalgia and these type of things that, you know, we really don't know what's going on. These things are the ones that tend to respond quite well to cannabinoid medicine. So, Yeah, it can. It might not, but no, it's definitely worth a try. And what I say to people is that it's generally not going to make anything worse. So, if you've tried everything else and you're really not getting anywhere, then, yeah, maybe consider cannabis.
And, Doctor, you're working with Damien Hardwick and Alistair Clarkson. Can you tell us what you're experimenting with there?
Yeah, well, whatever I'm doing doesn't not seem to be going too well. Both teams aren't going too great.
But they're moving really well.
They're high as kites, as relaxed as anything.
Yeah. The food intake's gone up by a mile. No, so Dimmer's, he's bloody amazing. It's actually like, I've got a picture in my room that he signed, and it says, thanks for changing my life, to me, and he signed it. He's an ex-player, lots of arthritis, lots of injuries, lots of head knocks, clarity's gone, his concentration, his stomach was screwed from taking so many anti-inflammatories, so he just wasn't able to get the benefit and moving the way he wants to move. Like, he's still bloody fit, like, you just saw him, he still trains, he's in good shape, but just not moving how he'd like to move, and so started him a little bit of oil, and he's just never looked back. He's out there spruiking it to everyone, so he's powering along nicely.
So
it's legal right now, is it?
Correct. Yeah. It's legal. So, so any GP can prescribe medicinal cannabis. So anyone's GP can prescribe it. The problem is that a lot of GPs don't want to do it, just because they're a little bit still scared about the whole, the stigma around it, or they don't know how to do it, or they think it's a lot of work. So I'm trying to get out there and let GPs know that this is a good option to have in your weaponry when you're trying to fix someone. But yeah, any GP can prescribe it, and it's legal.
So if Seed went out and played, he's not going to test for marijuana, is he?
I'm just trying to think which ones I've gone with. So what they look for when they test is THC, the molecule, and that's the one that makes you stoned. But that at a high dose makes you stoned, and it was introduced as a banned substance. It's clearly not performance enhancing. I always joke about that. I'm like, it's not a performance enhancing unless you are a gamer, maybe, or shooting. Wow. But but they look for THC. So THC is the molecule that was illegal. So, but actually, a lot of the time, all we need is CBD. So CBD is something that the athletes could roll out now, and they would not test positive to THC.
Okay. And how do people or parents or fellas that are in a similar position as Seed get hold of you, Dr. James Stewart?
Yeah, sure. Jump online and head to my clinic. I've set up a clinic where I've got a lot of really good doctors. We're all trained up. They're all great. There's unfortunately, a bit of a long wait list to see me. So jump onto herbalhealthclinics.com. It's all one word, herbalhealthclinics.com. And then we can do telehealth Australia-wide. The products can be sent Australia-wide. We can do face-to-face. So, yeah, jump on there, and we'd love to try and help anyone who thinks we might be able to help.
I'm going to log on tonight. Doc, thanks for your time.
Your beauty. Thanks, fellas.
Dr. James Stewart there.
Yeah, excellent. Working with Paul Seedsman, of course, and trying to help
I hope it works.
The battle that he's going through.
He needs to sleep. He needs to not have his headaches. He needs to be able to function. So if this can help him do all of that, well, then I'm all for it. Now, we have jokes about that, medicinal marijuana. It's amazing because I thought marijuana made you relaxed, made you get the munchies, it made you high and all that, but this is totally different. It's not that part of the marijuana.
Yeah, as he said, like over 100 years ago, they used it.
Pretty good weed,
for
isn't it?
pain relief and
they
the
make
like.
clothes out of this as well.
They did. They made rope out of it and the like. So, yeah, there are good purposes for it.
Well, I'm going to leave it there and not mention anything more about it because I don't want to end up in the 5AA news.
Let's get to a break, 18 after 6.
The 5AA Sports Show with Rowey and Timmy G.
Today I'm talking to Tracy, who is one of Arbor Vitae's many happy customers. Hi, Tracy.
Hello, Lee.
When did you start taking Arbor Vitae and what for?
I'm a cake maker by trade and suffered with sore hands for years, which is a common issue for my fellow bakers. They know how debilitating it is. A friend suggested I tried Arbor Vitae, and I can't believe how well it's worked for me.
What benefits have you noticed from Arbor Vitae?
It was after my second bottle that I noticed the difference. My pain has all but disappeared. It's like a magic potion. I'm able to work with no pain. No stretch of the truth. It's worked so well for me.
It's wonderful to hear how much of a positive impact it has had on your life. Thank you for your time, Tracy. Arbor Vitae is an anti-inflammatory supplement made from natural ingredients like pycnogenol, enzyme papain from the papaya fruit, aloe vera and honey. Remember, for more information, visit arborvitae.com.au and remember, always read the label and follow the directions for use. Stocked in chemists and health food stores all over Adelaide.
Okay, it's the final question in the sports round. For 10 points,
Jockey Luke Nolan drives what type of car?
It's a 78 Leyland Mini.
Correct.
Mate, how did you know that?
Saw it on the hub.
Introducing the new Ladbrokes Hub. Access videos, race day insights and industry experts all in the Ladbrokes app. Ladbroke it. You win some, you lose more. For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au.
How easily could you save hundreds off your energy bills? That easy. Switch out your gas or electric hot water system for an energy-efficient heat pump with EcoVantage. Then sit back and save up to 70% on your water heating costs. And get it supplied and installed for as little as $0, thanks to government-facilitated subsidies. Yep, new hot water system from $0 that saves you hundreds. Pump your energy bills down with ecovantage.com.au.
AutoCam.
So this is the air filter out of your car?
Real-time video sent direct to you from your Automasters technician.
It's not actually the wheel bearing. What it is, the handbrake.
AutoCam. Real-time reporting with instant SMS approval. Call 1300 Automasters.
End of financial year is almost here. So book now to celebrate the work wins, recover from the losses, and everything in between at Jama's Kitchen. Down tools and enjoy plate after plate with your crew. Prepared by a third-generation chef, Chris Jama. Plus, Jama's is conveniently located just outside of the city in Bowden. Get in touch now to come and see the amazing range of function spaces for all of your end of financial year events at jamaskitchen.com.au. Jama's Kitchen. Fancy made easy.
Bardsy here from Barbecue Adelaide Weber Stores. Are you having a killer feed for Mother's Day and need some inspiration? Well, come see me at Barbecue Adelaide Weber Stores for everything barbie, rubs, spices, or just some advice. Or do the right thing and get your mum a brand new Weber or some Yeti gear for Mother's Day. So, for everything Barbie this Mother's Day, head down to Barbecue Adelaide Weber Stores, Jebs Cross and Mile End, and prepare to get lit.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
Yeah.
Well.
We're just sitting here having a little talk.
So, Dr. James Stewart, because of his sense of humour, you go and do that.
Good.
22
Bit of
after
Bob
6.
Marley.
Hey, how you going, Cole? A little bit of Buffalo Soldier to you, son.
G'day, guys. I've got a couple of 3-point power plan here. You know what I mean?
Well, here we go.
All right. One starts off as coach is untenable. Sack him. Bang. I'm really quick with my power points. Right. One goes, hey, we win 5 games out of 2. Next power point is Warren Treadray goes, it was our reasonable input into this that made then win 5-2. All right, Chad Corns comes out and goes, there is no way in the world Treadray had anything to do with what they are doing. And there you go, you know. And I'm glad your lawyer rang you up, Rowey. See ya.
Okay.
What was that last bit? What did he say? I'm glad your lawyer rang you up, Rowey. Cole, get Cole back up, please. What do you mean, Cole?
Win 5 games out of 2. Next power point is Warren Treadray.
I think that's his radio in the background.
Yeah, it's coming back. That's all right.
He's on delay.
That's his radio.
Cole!
Let's not.
No.
I want to know what he was talking about.
And then we'll go to Ingle Farm. Hello, Prashan.
What an absolute...
Hello, Prashan.
Hello, how are you?
Hello, Prashan. Now we got some smart people on. Don't know what Cole was smoking, a bit of Buffalo Soldier.
Yeah, Buffalo Soldier was nice.
Yeah.
Throwback to old times.
Well, hang on. You'll make the 5AA use if you admit you've had a bit of Buffalo Soldier.
He liked Bob Marley.
As
an artist. I did, actually.
I thought you were admitting that you partook in a little bit of Cheech and Chong, Prashant.
I'm not admitting to anything, but anyway, with this MRO thing, I think I agree with you that it's a bit interfering with the fabric of the game, but I can understand what AFL is doing. It
it wants to assure parents that it is a safe game for their kids to play.
Yeah, I think you're with Timmy, and I need to get on your page, Prashant.
And another thing, when you spoke to Richardson of Ports, when you spoke to Chad yesterday, you did say that give us some leverage. So you were just goading him on to say something. Not that the Consus, Kane, Chad, or Graham need any
assistance,
encouragement,
supporting any encouragement to say something controversial.
Yep.
But you did say give us some leverage.
Oh,
Did you or did you not?
Oh God, Prashant. So should I apologise? Did I overstep
No, you don't
my
have to
mark?
apologise. That was excellent radio, I think.
Oh, Prashant, my favourite.
Prashant, there you go.
God, if I had some hugs to you, I'd just push
I was going to say, haven't we got a voucher left
well,
anywhere?
Apparently I've given everything
You're
away
not bad,
today.
mate.
Prashant, thanks, mate. Well done. Thanks for your support, because I'm not getting a lot on the old Unique Homestyle Foods text line. Have I had a bad day today, Timmy?
No, you've scored okay here.
Okay.
Hasn't been too
50-50?
bad.
Cozzy?
50-50. Yeah.
Have I got your support? Because that's all I care about.
Well, you've always got my support,
Oh,
Stephen.
yeah.
I support lots of people who are in need.
Okay. Oh, jeez. So I'm needy now.
Backhander.
Hello, Dean. That was a sideways whack from Hillbank.
G'day, Dean.
Rowey, you're getting a raw deal here with all these people. It's not fair on you.
Well, you know what? I got big shoulders, mate. You open your big buff head, you live in a glass house, don't throw stones.
No, well, I reckon this thing with Seedsman, I've never smoked marijuana in my life, but I think this thing with Seedsman and the other people, you know, the basketballs and things, has something to look forward to as far as, look at Olivia Newton-John, all the problems she had with cancer and everything else, and how long she lasted, and she was on those sorts of things with the liquid things with her husband. But, you know, that made her last a lot longer and get things. So if they can do something with that and help these guys who have been knocked out or whatever and have concussion, then it'd be a wonderful thing, I think. They should do the
Dean, and that's why we got him on. We take all the jokes aside. Ken Cole's another one that's used cannabinoid for years, and his life's changed. He now has a quality of life, and
he had
people
his health
use
battles.
it. They do. People use it for sleep. People use it for pain relief. People use it, to make ropes.
Are you going to have a go at it?
At what?
For your migraines?
Well, I don't know. I might Google him because. I mean, you've
Maybe talk to
seen
your
me.
GP.
I know. Probably.
I've seen you when you've had an attack. It wasn't good.
I might give Doc Verrill a call and maybe go down that path. But
Doc,
yeah,
he'll put you straight.
I think I might be better off going to the neighbours, getting the hose, and
No, you will not.
growing a bit of weedy in the backyard.
Just jump over the sprinkler. That's all you do.
Jimmy,
don't
that'll
roll
make
your
the
acorns.
news.
27
Oh boy!
after 6. We're going to take a break. Where are they now with Sam Kekovich next?
The 5AA Sports Show, Rowey and Timmy G. 5AA Breakfast.
Plenty to plough through in the budget, a lot of talking points. It feels to me like this is a wishful thinking